script for you as well. Like where if you want to do like a if you wanna like have a teleprompter,
Yeah.
it'll do that for you on screen.
Ah, yeah, but I mean, the using a teleprompter has always bugged me. I mean, I have like one of the older ones around here. All right, we're live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, welcome to the third installment of the new podcast. I'm here with our special co-host Tuck, and I hope everybody's seen the title. It's pretty much Animal Shift, but it's still open mic tonight. Um, there is still quite a bit of stuff going on. I want to let everybody know that this weekend is WrestleMania. Um, I intend to bring up some very wild stuff about the wrestling industry. I probably have spent far too much time researching this, and I have discovered things about blood sacrifices, blood contracts, all kinds of things. Tuck, I need to run out real quick, and I'll be right back.
Okay, so I guess I have the mic. Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Friar Tuck, but on my channel, most of my audience calls me Professor Tuck. If you've listened over the last couple of nights, you probably understand why people call me Professor Tuck. But I host a channel called The Epoch of Friar Tuck here on YouTube, and we talk about everything from adventure, survival, and the crazy stuff that goes on in the homeless community. So I've been walking from Kansas City. I'm now in Indiana. We can pretty much cross the state in about a month. So just to give you a little bit of my background, I walk with a dog. Her name is Sam, but her trail name is the Feral Princess because if you've ever heard of Princess and the Pea, that's my dog. She can't be on. It has. She can't be on a cold ground. She can't be on a hard ground. She's gonna sit on your lap. She's gonna sit on your feet. That's why she has to even get up in the hammock with me because the ground is just way too hard for her, and that's why she's called the Feral Princess. For those of you who would like to know. And if you guys want to see her, you'll see her over on my channel, The Epoch of Friar Tuck.
Tuck, let's check the stream. I just got our first glitch of the night, and it said that YouTube was not receiving any data. No, I see it right there. I see it. I see it. I see it.
Sometimes the app will give you a glitch because it has a higher standard, but so like instead of doing 1 bit rate, it could actually work at a lower bit rate because YouTube generally drops your resolution down to 720p, especially if you got low signal. It's when you got better bandwidth that you'll get the 1080 or the 4K.
Okay. Well, I mean, we spend an insane amount of money on the internet here. I mean,
Why? Is it a business?
yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. Let's talk about that because a lot of people are not. I mean, oh, yeah, there we go. But okay, yeah, I got that up just in case I can see comments and chat and everything because I don't have the other thing working. But yeah, we've started. I mean, for a very long time, we use Xfinity, and basically the cable party line. We spend probably close to $200 a month on our internet. We have the highest internet connection there is. Everything I
Up or
test.
down?
Huh?
What's your up and down speed?
Uh, I don't even know anymore. I mean, it's the highest. I mean, it's like I think it's over whatever Brightspeed's fiber is. I mean,
So you're on a fiber network, so yeah, you've got almost okay, yeah. So you've got a strong backbone. Why do you need all of that?
well, I mean, there's a lot of equipment that runs in this house. I mean, of course, with the whole streaming stuff now and the before that, I had like Bitcoin miners running, and when you have, my old lady, she does a lot of, watches a lot of stuff, and we don't use like regular cable, so you know we pretty much stream all of our entertainment. Um, so the internet is hot. I mean, when we first started, we had like the lowest tier, and or we had a scale tier, whatever they call it, and we noticed that the amount of data that we were using per month was just insane. So we had to get the unlimited option, and uh, it's worked for us. I mean, it has. And
Yeah.
I don't have altitudes and things like that. Now the here you have probably have not encountered this, but because you're on the road and you don't have a house right now. But have you heard of Brightspeed?
Yes.
Okay, how do you feel about Brightspeed?
They're kind of like Roadrunner.
They're
I mean,
shady.
it's a mid grade. See, cable is outdated. This is the problem, and the only people that are sticking with cable are those that are like 50, 55, and older, and so it's becoming a dying brand. Well, the only way these cable companies can remain viable, because they used to get so much money from advertising, because you hosted the channel and then they got a portion of the advertising or whatever it was for the local region, and they controlled a lot of that stuff, and so they got their kickbacks, and that's how they made their money. So that's why you would get, everything for $70 a month. Well, now they can't do that, so they're trying to figure out other ways to make up the money. So they're raising it up. It's a legacy system, and there has to be something a little bit more reasonable that's going to pop up. Somebody's going to decide to do a business that actually makes it affordable.
Well, I mean that's what Brightspeed is doing now. Brightspeed is running fiber, but they're using these quick connect things, and they're running them all over the place. They're taking down the old copper line, um, and they have been dropping these things everywhere. They're linking off of like the Google fiber network. Like we're at, like most cities and stuff have like a Google line that runs through it, and
Right.
they take and hook into that. I guess they buy time from them and do whatever. But I tell you, Brightspeed is shady. They are shady. They will try to push internet on you. They will try to scam you. They will. It's just not a. In my opinion, it's not a. Even though you might get fast internet, it's a no contract type thing, and there's no guarantee. And if you need you know to be sure you're going to have internet, and
Well, hold on. Do you know the difference between business internet and consumer internet?
uh, actually, I'm not sure anymore. I mean,
No, there's two major differences, and I know this is from being in the IT field. The first is you're going to pay a lot more, but you also are first priority when they go to restore service. So if you even have the slightest hiccup in your data, man, they're out there sniffing up your ass, going, can you fart a little bit louder, please? I mean, it's insane. Because the thing is you all of a sudden get red carpet treatment for your internet connection. It's worth the extra money, especially if you're doing the data and you can do it as a write off for a business expense. I mean, it's totally worth it. So you might have the consumer plan unlimited, but if you go down and there's no business within your little hub that's down, then it may take longer for you to get your internet, because their main priority is the corporate accounts, not the consumer accounts.
yeah, I mean, well, I mean, it's it's unlimited, but it's while it may be consumer, we are like there's consumer tiers now. Like Xfinity has some weird stuff now. Like if you're to sign on, you're like at the bottom, and then but if you've been there a long time, you get these. I think we're like platinum, diamond, whatever, something another, and
Oh, so you're paying for the high priority, so they're just giving you the okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
neat.
yeah,
Verizon's doing that shit. It pissed me off because yeah, I got screwed. They gave me 100 gigabyte hotspot that saved my dad $5 a month. But the thing is, I went from high priority to low priority. That's when I started having trouble with signal and fucking staying live.
yeah. I mean, have you seen the one hotspot? I mean, there's a hotspot at Walmart you can buy, and it's unlimited, and it's unlimited for life. You just pay the one thing.
I have not heard of that, but it's got to be satellite or
No,
it's.
no, no. It's a sale type thing. I mean, it's 5G. I mean the now this isn't the exact same one, but like my son, he like was approved for one. They sent him one for free. But Walmart sells the same thing, and it's this cool little box. You know, it's about the size of a, I don't know, maybe a paperback book or something. And you charge it up, and it seems like it has I don't know, like 3 4 days worth of power. I mean, it's a little compact thing, and I mean, this thing you can hook up multiple devices to it. You know, you can track your usage on it, and
Huh.
it when I checked it and set it up for him, I mean, it had relatively good speed. So, I mean, it and it's tough. Like I
The
mean,
the big
it's made for
the
kids.
the biggest problem you're gonna have with a cell phone is line of sight. You're on one side of the mountain, you got great line of sight. You cross over, you go up to the ridge line, you cross over, and you start going down. Next thing you know, you lost signal, and it's completely a dead zone for for miles until you come back over the other side of the ridge line.
I'm looking at my video here, and I apologize. I need to shave. I do. It's not totally grown out or anything, but I still need to shave. Mine was as long as yours. There for a while. And I shaved it off, and I didn't pay attention and let it grow out a little more. But
Did you did you hear what happened to the first beard I had? So this beard is a grow back. So when I was in Cincinnati before we got on the Buckeye Trail, I went in there to just get my beard like touched up and stuff like that. I actually had a nice full beard. It was like down to the down to like my solar plexus, and this dude just shaves the whole fucking thing off
why?
because he didn't like Sam.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't want to get it. I'll get into it with you off camera, but on camera, yeah, we'll just say that's kind of he didn't like the dog.
we're sorry about the echo if there is one. I see a
No, I'm speaking.
okay.
No.
It may be me rocking back and forth in here or moving and stuff, but yeah, or the first part of the video when it was, I think it was the transmission speed or something maybe. Yeah, someone said something about it, but then they said we are here. So, all right. Well, anyway, it's working.
How many people we got in chat?
I don't even know. I mean,
If hold on, I can look. I'm just curious. Um, where is? Huh? I gotta go find. There you are.
yeah, there's the echo. I see it now. I don't think everybody's in here yet.
Oh, that's your trailer.
Yeah, it says two watching.
Live.
It says two
Yeah,
watching.
you got two watching. Cool. We got two people watching. um, I yeah. I don't know, but you're doing this horizontally, which is different. Now, do you have this set up in the pod as a podcast playlist?
I do. Well, I have it set up as a live playlist. Um,
No, no, no. You got to change that. You've got to put it as because YouTube distributes it different and puts it on YouTube Music, which is where people are going to be listening to this to begin with. So it just like in Spotify, you may have the video, just like on YouTube, but also a lot of people just want to sit there and listen on their phone while they're doing work and listen to the podcast in the background. That's kind of and they like long form, open conversations and stuff like that. I was actually looking into podcasting, and I've done a couple on YouTube, and I know you gotta set it up differently and specifically design it as a podcast playlist, and then that way it gets distributed on YouTube Music.
okay. Well, I changed it from live to podcast.
Well, no, the playlist.
Yeah, yeah, playlist.
Okay, because usually it has you upload a thumbnail, and then you have to put in a description of it, and so on and so forth. So it's usually like they have you do like a cover photo.
Well, I mean, on mine, I don't know, like my playlists are set up.
Go to my channel list, or go to my channel, and if you go there, you'll see that you'll see like that there's a tab for podcast, and Bum News is considered a podcast. But it's a news podcast. So whenever I do news, I do it there. So people, what that does is that puts it on YouTube's YouTube Music, so that it's not a normal playlist. It's a special playlist. And
Okay,
so
now
when you go and create a new playlist, you set it as a podcast, and then you just start whenever you go and whenever you set up the live, you also set it up to be in that playlist, so that therefore when it's done, it gets uploaded into YouTube Music, and it just kind of compounds what you're already doing.
So do you change that inside the actual?
Yeah, when you go do a new playlist, so go to create a new playlist.
I did that.
Okay, it should give you a drop down or something like that. Was it a playlist, or is a podcast? And you're gonna choose podcast.
All right, let me try that again. Okay. Well, no.
Because you're gonna have to name the whole thing and everything. But yeah, I can walk you through that later on too, if you'd like to. But yeah, it'll take you, because you're gonna want to set it up, because that podcast playlist is almost like a second channel page. So that way, it gets its own keyworded description and stuff like that. The same type of effort that you put in your about section, you're gonna put into that. So you may want to take a minute and do that like afterwards. It doesn't matter when you do it. You can always add it to any playlist.
Okay, I'll fix it now. Now that I see that, because like I'm looking here and it's not on mine. I mean, along the top it says home video, shorts, live playlist, and in post. But like I can go to my playlist and I see like podcast and music and like all of my other stuff, and yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
might just there might be like I'm sure that there's a video out on it, but yeah, it's generally just like when you go into YouTube Studio, you just create or what is it, it takes you to the actual YouTube front end, and has you do that. But yeah, and we can talk about it afterwards.
Yeah. Walk me through it in the studio tonight after we get done, because now I'm interested, because I don't see it on there, and it should be on there. Anyway, all right. So, all right, where are we? All right. I already said the thing about WrestleMania. Gonna try to put that together, and is there anything you want to throw out there?
Not at the moment. No, I mean it's been it's been it's just been a normal day. I mean, we just we took a day off and kind of sat by the river and relaxed, and Sam ran off, and that was pretty much it. So fucking I luckily the sheriffs I got to the sheriffs before they had animal control show up. So yeah.
Why would they? Why would they show up? Because of Sam?
Well, yeah, Sam ran off.
Mm.
Yeah, she's a runner. That's why she's chipped. Dude, I chipped her before the first time she ever ran, but thank God she's fucking chipped.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't even check anymore. I mean, it's like they act like it costs too much to do stuff like that, and your animal or whatever just stays in, the pound and.
I don't know the Maryville pound when they found her. Yeah, I got a call within 2 hours.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the term Therian?
What kind of Therian?
A Therian. Therian. It's maybe I'm not saying it right. Therian.
Therian. I don't know what that is.
Okay, a Therian, according to the Urban Dictionary. Well, yes, we're going to go there. A Therian is someone who identifies as a non-human, earthen animal, either spiritually or psychologically. Therians, in short, for Therianotropia or Athopia, Thera, animal, Atropa, man, and Therians have the ability to shift. And Therians understand that they cannot physically shift or well, some of them do anyway. But anyway, it's basically people who think that they are, like, when this whole LGBTQ craziness,
yeah,
all right, and you had people who, so, okay, well, I'm going to identify as a cat, or I'm going to identify as a dog, or whatever. Well, this is not that. Okay.
I have a question for you on this.
Sure, go ahead.
Who is more identifying outside of their gender, men or women? I'm just curious. I don't know the stat. If you do, I was curious.
Do you want the actual stats that are kind of semi-posted that probably not true, or do you want my thoughts on it?
Whichever is more correct.
I believe my thoughts on it is more correct. And the people now, are you saying that like men who identify as women, or are you talking about men who identify as things?
That identify as anything other than a man.
Okay. Honestly, it's men.
That are doing this?
Well, now the Therian thing is pretty much an equal part of both sides, and there's a reason for that, and more so women though. I mean that are more open about it.
Okay, but as far as the transgender though, it's more men doing it than women.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's more women now that are taking. I don't know if they've seen something, they've noticed something. Like at first, it was women that were like really pushing it, and I can understand because they were like, everyone needs rights and everything else, and like I said, I had no problem with that. But I think they begun to see that, that these individuals were not really seeking what they were seeking.
Yes. I've talked with people in the community. The reason why I'm asking these questions is because I think that this is an indicator of something that is wrong within our society, because it's a symptom. Because are you aware that there are men's rights activists that have been popping up for about 5, maybe 7 years?
Oh yeah. Do you believe it? Do you think it's a psychological issue, or do you think it's a construct? Do you think it's something's causing it? Do you think there's something in the the water or whatever.
No, it's not.
Like how Alex Jones was screaming 20 years ago, "Gay frogs." I mean, it's are we talking about something that is possibly influencing individuals to act differently?
Yes, but not what you think.
Well, what is it? What do you think it is?
Okay, I gave you the answer either last night or the night before. We talked about the origins of the climate change policy. So what ended up happening is that they started using policy as a way to be able to influence the birth rights or the birth rate to reduce the population through policy, making it much harder, started creating a two-income family. Under Nixon, that's when they brought in the whole contraceptions and the education, and there was so much pushback. He almost lost his election, and he got the Green New Dealers out of his cabinet, and he was very sour about it. Afterwards, a lot like Trump was sour about how he got hit. There's a lot of similarities between Nixon and Donald Trump, and I think what Donald Trump is doing is what Nixon would have done because he was just as furious about what was going on. But there was a time in which the American public was actually informed that, hey, we have a population problem because our mortality rate has gone down. We don't want to overuse our resources. This is back when the government was semi-honest, or at least straightforward about shit. And so the American people actually started to adjust and started to have smaller families. But there were those unelected bureaucrats like Fauci who stick back and go, well, I know better, and government policy is going to make sure that everybody does it, versus allowing the people to actually make their choice and to be informed on what they're doing and why they're doing it. And so that's why all these policies that have been going on not only lead to homelessness because you have broken people who have broken children who have broken lives, and because they were taught bad behavior traits, bad personality skills, and they weren't properly raised because their parents weren't properly raised because of the way the system decided to use policy to destroy the family nucleus in order to reduce the population and ensure a population reduction. Now we're talking about a population implosion. So all of this craziness and stuff like that and the divisiveness is to keep us polarized, to reduce our overall birth rate, because this is old government policy that nobody's really aware of, but it just kind of happens because the institution itself just keeps perpetuating it. So yes, that's why we're seeing this, and that's why we see women's lib that has gotten so out of control that you now have women's lib ladies that are coming over and doing men's rights. Someone like Roma Army is one that I watch. There's actually quite a few of females, and like if they have sons, all of a sudden they're sitting there going, "Well, my son's not a monster," and then they realize that they've been lied to. So women that have men generally tend to lean more towards men's rights activists. So there's a whole polarization. It's an intended thing. And this goes even back to Edward Bernays and what he did with the 4 Minute Men.
Okay, pause that for a second. What do you know about Henry Ford?
Very little.
Okay, Henry Ford. I mean, first off, we started seeing this weird change in male behavior and female behavior around the time 1930s. So somewhere in there, 1920s, 1930s. Henry Ford was the one that actually pushed soybeans. Soybeans have an extremely high estrogen content.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people who think because, and I mean this was turned into government policy. Farmers were made to plant this stuff. They're still made to plant this stuff. Soybeans are practically used in everything.
Yeah.
And everything has this high estrogen content, and that it seems. I think it is chemically affecting the male population. Now, of course, there are psychological factors, and there are, factors like what you're talking about that could influence this. But I believe there is still a chemical feature to this.
I think that the food part, yes, but as far as and I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the True TV where Jesse Ventura and Alex Jones go up into what was it, like Michigan or something like that? Go, oh my God, look at this water! They're trying to kill you.
Yeah, well, yeah, but now the Henry Ford thing, no one's ever talked about because.
Well, yeah, that part. But we were talking about the whole. You made mention of it when I was saying something. That's
Oh yeah. I mean, the reason I said it is because it it seems to be the part everyone clips about Alex Jones. Like.
Oh, I actually wrote an article when this came out because I used to watch True TV. I actually used to admire and respect Jesse Ventura. I no longer do. But I actually did my own research. Do you know when you sweat, when you pee, when you shit, when you wash things? Do you know that there's trace amounts of uranium in all of that, in the molecules of that, right?
Oh yeah. You're
Okay. So
you're
then
radioactive.
what happens when all of your waste goes into your river and then you pull all of the water from the river, because this happened in Oregon. You pull all the water from the river without doing like any type of reverse osmosis because you're not accounting for the uranium. And then what's happening is this is where the feminizing uranium part is correct, and the fact that with the high concentration of uranium, men are starting to have higher estrogen levels, but also probably with the food as well, with what you're saying. But this is where men, are being very are being like pacified to a point to where they're not able to actually fight back. But there are those of us, like maybe you, maybe me, that we have such a heightened aggression that there's really no amount of estrogen that they can give us that will really slow us down. And these are the people that generally go towards military or survival type lifestyles.
True. There's a lot of people in the military that, because of the way they have been, affected with certain things, maybe depleted uranium and other things, they actually have to use testosterone supplements later on, or lotions or things like that, to basically feel normal. It's very, very common. It is. It's insanely common, and that was one of the things that actually made Alex Jones rich, and all these other ones. They're selling these basically powdered bull ball settlements. Supplements, and of course, you can get the actual chemical stuff and rub it on, or you can do injections. But the injections do hurt.
A pro tip for your audience, something that most people don't know, is that Walmart water is actually done with reverse osmosis. It's one of the few waters that does. It's not expensive. So if you want to get good, clean water that actually has reverse osmosis, if this is something that concerns you, that's Walmart water is the only one that I know that does that.
Now he is referring to Walmart water that comes from Walmart, the Walmart brand. Now he is not referring to all of the other brands that they carry.
Correct.
Okay. Just throw that out there.
Yes, yeah, I guess I would have thought, but yeah, I guess we sometimes, there's a reason why there's warning labels, right?
Mm-hmm. That being said, now, most sodas and stuff are reverse osmosis, but you were talking about it being dumped into the river. That's not 100% accurate. The most towns and things like that have waste sites, and the city water.
Now they do, but we're talking like from the Industrial Revolution.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I agree with you. That did happen, but now it's actually quite sickening. And this is something that I got on a rant about it a while back, and it looks like we're going to get on it now. And it is kind of disturbing and horrifying, and this is definitely something that makes me paranoid. But But like most city water and stuff, it goes to these waste recycling plants. And for the ones of you that don't know or don't, you might have some kind of idea how they work, but these things, kind of settle, and they have a basically a process and series where they separate the water and the sludge and the filth and everything else, and then they scoop off the top. The part they scoop off on top is what goes into your B vitamins that you buy at Walmart and other places.
What the fuck? What is it?
Huh? It's the stuff that's in your urine, I mean, and that's how that is one of the most common ways they find materials to make supplements with.
Is used to take it out of the water?
That they take it out of the sludge.
Oh.
It gets separated up there. Now we're not done yet. But anyway, all of this stuff is separated, and then of course, they filter and try to clean the water. They pass it through basically rocks and filters and chemicals to kind of like clean it up. Some places will do reverse osmosis, but most of them are using like multiple filters, and they do chemical cleaning, but it's still there. The sludge is then taken. I mean, the sludge that's on the bottom. Now, this is the waste, human waste, and stuff like that. It's no longer by law considered human waste because it's been chemically altered. It's been chemically changed. This material is then used as fertilizer for your plants.
Well,
okay.
That's not so bad.
And yes and no. I mean, it's something that possibly needs to happen, and it's something that's been going on for centuries. So I mean, you really can't argue about it. I mean, back in the day, they used to take human waste and just toss on the cucumbers. But I mean, that being said, all of that, if that doesn't give you pause. What has been really bothering me is this is probably a trigger for some people, but there are three common ways now that people, when they pass away, they have to be, dealt with. You're either buried in the ground, you're either cremated,
or a science experiment,
which is the water burial, or the water what they call water cremation, which isn't really water cremation. What it is, they put you in a vat, and this is becoming a popular thing, and I do not like it. I don't like it at all. They put you in this vat. They fill it up with these chemicals. You are basically dissolved. Some of your like bones and things are left. Then that water is pumped out. All that material and everything else is pumped out into the city water system and goes through that recycling process that I talked about before.
Cannibals. We're all cannibals.
Yes, we are. We are all cannibals. And see, that's the other thing. I mean, they started doing this, and they're saying, okay, we're this is fine. This is not affecting you. Technically, not getting it, and da 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 da. But you are. But you are.
It's not even what it originally was. Yes and no, because the molecules in the world get recycled. I mean,
well, I mean, yeah, but if you're knowingly doing it, you're putting it in a thing, and you're give it back to people. I mean, we're talking. Hold
on a second. What happens? Okay, so I walk. I live outside. I'm near a tree. I go up. I piss on it, or I piss on the ground. Right?
Yeah.
Where does that piss eventually end up?
Yeah, but it makes it down into the
aquifer.
The aquifer and stuff like that. But what we're talking about here is a slow process over time, and by the time it makes it down to the aquifer, I mean it's probably been absorbed or
It's
used by.
probably a drop of compared to what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, but but when we're talking about the water cremation, you're talking the whole of the human body, the blood, organs, and everything else that have been dissolved in this liquid, and it's being pushed into the water system, and then being recycled, and being broken down into components like the vitamins and the fertilizer, and going back into your water. We know water is weird. Water is really weird. Water has absolutely no taste. Okay, but if you drink water now, you know it has a taste. You know water has some detectable. You know you're drinking water.
Uh-huh.
But absolutely 100% pure water does not have a taste, and you do not like it. You want to kind of like spit it out if you put it in. What happens is it takes on the characteristics of what it is around. That's the reason why we humans like spring water and we like mountain water and stuff like that, because it flows through the rocks and it takes on the characteristics of these salts and these minerals and things like that, and we enjoy the taste of salt. And I mean, even through reverse osmosis, it's still it still takes on those tastes. Um, and one of the tastes that humans have been growing accustomed to is plastic.
Yeah, I can smell it. I can taste it. I know when it's, especially when you fucking get a new water filter and it's really, really hot water or something like that's going through it, or it's your first day, you kind of got to spit the first little bit of water out.
Hmm. But it's still there. I mean, you don't get rid of it. You just got a massive dose of it, a massive taste of it. Um, but yeah, we have grown accustomed to things that are we shouldn't have grown accustomed to. Um, but yeah, anyway, that's one thing that really bothers me about the whole new funeral process, and how funeral homes and politicians and stuff are just kind of like making it sound okay.
Mm, you got it. You ever seen the 100?
I did. Well, I saw part of it, or saw. I mean, I think I saw all of it, but I was like bouncing around when it was going on, and I don't know. But I think all of these things, I think all these factors and things are playing a role into. Well, one of these factors, I think there are multiple factors that are playing a role into human behavior. I mean, it has to be. Um, I need to run to the bathroom. Be right back. I may need to grab a drink too. So if you want to talk about something, go ahead.
Yeah, hold on. I hear the four wheeler around, so I'm kind of being quiet right now. So I'm technically on water rights, but I don't wanna, yeah. Okay, sounds like he's gone, or at least he shut his engine off, but I won't be too loud. Uh, Um, but
I'm just
sorry
saying. I
guys,
mean, as
this is
as
kind
you're
of like
traveling, can you tell
a
where I'm
crash
sort of
course
like
in co-hosting. One person in the back cave, and the other person out and about, just trying to keep a low profile. Well, because I catch a bus on Tuesday to go to go towards Philadelphia. I may land in Philadelphia. I may get off at Harrisburg and go hit the AT. Still kind of deciding. I may have other financial stuff that's going. But for those of you that are into causes, we have a cause going on, or that I'm part of. It's with a group called Homeless Entrepreneur, and what we're doing is we're doing the Great Walk from Kensington, Philadelphia, starting in mid-July. and in about 5 days we will reach MetLife Stadium for the World Cup Finals, and it's part of that smells good. It's part of bringing awareness to homelessness, and that there are functional homeless out there. Actually, it's a large majority of the homeless population. What most people don't know is that about 70 to 75% of your homeless population doesn't have a drug addiction, doesn't have major criminal records, doesn't have unmedicated, or they're not in a crisis stage with mental health. Even if they do have mental health issues, these are people that can get a job if an opportunity is given to them. But there's more discrimination than not, because back in the day, I had a job offer and I was offered a job. I was like, okay, cool. And he found out that I was homeless before the end of the interview, and he immediately withdrew the job offer from me and told me that I couldn't work there. And that was actually going to get me off the streets. And people say, go get a job, bum. But then they also forget that employers will discriminate against you too. Did we? Okay. Somebody's smoking some good shit around here. I can smell it. I'm kind of jealous. But yeah, I'm right on the border of Indiana and Illinois. So it's a little. Huh?
I said, I tell you, you guys, Tuck is a great guy. You guys should go over and show him some love. I mean, he has, covers for me a bunch, and when I gotta step out and everything else, and but yeah, go over to his channel and pay him a visit and subscribe if you can.
Only if you're gonna watch it. If you're not interested in my content, that's okay. But at least come over, check it out, see if it's something that you wanna keep up on. If so, subscribe. If not, hey, thanks for taking a look, man. Much appreciated.
And who knows? There are YouTubers out there that started off doing one thing and ended up doing another thing.
Quite frequently,
Yeah, quite frequently, and their content changes and shifts and goes every which way. It's always good to keep an eye on somebody that you might think you will like, or might turn into something that you will like.
Most people watch me because they think that if they were homeless, they would be more like me than like the homeless people that they see on the streets. And there's a disconnect of like, how is somebody so well spoken, well articulated? How is he able to, be able to, do this, be homeless? He shouldn't be homeless, stuff like that. But then they also self-identify.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have that knowledge bouncing around in your noggin. All right, now let's see. We were roundabout going to Therians. Yes, Therians. All right. And the reason I brought that up is, yesterday we were talking about weird animals and things like that. But apparently this is heavy in Latin America and Spain. There are teens, and now I've actually seen this in places across the United States, and as you're traveling around and looking, and the rest of you guys, if you start seeing people who are behaving and acting like animals. Now, I'm not talking about furries, and I'm not talking about people who are dressing up as animals. I'm talking about people who are behaving differently. Like behaving.
Bring a litter box to work.
No, not like that. I mean, that kind of, feels more psychological. But no, this seems different. This seems.
What makes it different?
These people are acting like they are possessed, like they are. You heard the stories of old about vampires and werewolves and things like that, and we have never really gotten a good grasp about it. We have never really well, I mean, for God's sake, we have speculated. We have made movies, and we have saying, okay, well, so and so, this is the way they look, and everything else. But in reality, you know, all these stories come from someplace. Um, but these people are acting as if they're animals. They're identifying as animals. They feel like animals in their heads. They feel like animals.
I think they're just looking for attention. I don't really think that there are people that think that. Nobody. Here's at least this is my personal point of view, if you want to call it that. I tend to agree with Meyer on this. If you subscribe to continuous rebirth or reincarnation, um, there are certain decisions you must make before you pass away. And one of those decisions is, what are you going to come back as, man or woman? If you're indecisive, you might get put in the wrong body. So sometimes a man thinks he's in the wrong body. He probably is, because he was indecisive in his last life, and his lesson in this life is to not be indecisive and figure it out. Which do you want to be, man or woman? And so therefore, that is somebody that wants to be, that thinks that they're an animal. There's no way in hell that there's a species, that the spirit's crossing species.
Well, I'm not saying they're really crossing species. I mean, their spirits are crossing species. I'm thinking that there is some something latching onto them, something leaching into their.
I think they're just crazy, and the world has.
You
I
might be
really
right,
do.
man. You might be right. I mean,
I think that these people are just batshit crazy. It's not to be mean. It's not to anything else like that. I don't want to offend anybody, but think of it like this. Okay, these young kids have never felt an ounce of real pain. They think that getting their fucking Game Boy taken away is child abuse, and their parents should be locked away for the rest of their fucking life. These
oh
kids have
yeah,
never
yeah.
experienced what real of any of this, and even these kids are like, even tell me, dude, you're aggressive, you scare me. I'm like, how the fuck do I scare you? I'm a teddy bear. Yeah, I may be a little animated, I might be a little loud from time to time, but that's just normal for people, for some people. And usually
But
society dealt with it, because like some people are just loudmouths, you know.
but I mean,
And
in some cases, I do agree with you. I mean, I agree with you 100%. And but I believe like there are there are some cases out there that just seem weird. Like
it's indoctrination. It's happening on a cycle. It has to be happening in the schools at a psychological level. I was reading, and because my son he's about ready to graduate high school. Um, he like when he was first getting into school, there was a big thing that came out of Oregon about how there was how the teachers were teaching the students how to be militant, how to protest, and all this other stuff. And I'm thinking, dude, I know my ex-wife's background, and my family back. Oh, that kid's gonna get in some serious trouble. He might make a name for himself. But the thing is this is what they're indoctrinating these children. As of recently, if you remember, like around 2020, parents started protesting that they're starting to do we'll just call it adult education on taking second graders in there, male teachers teaching female. Well, no, now they're saying it's only males teaching males. So now you've got the gay professor that's going in there and having his
oh
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just what it is there's a lot of policies that are going in to brainwash our children into accepting pedophilia.
yeah. Now, I mean, you think that's the reason why it's starting to pop off now in 2026?
Are you familiar with the Talmud?
Uh, I believe so. The name is familiar and it's in my brain. I just can't connect it right now.
Okay, it was what I believe the Pharisees wrote on their way back to Babylon in 300 AD.
Okay, okay, yeah,
They
that's
wanted to go back to Babylon because in Babylon it was a ritual to take the purity of a child for yourself and stuff like that. There was some serious, yeah. This is where the Catholic Church gets it. It's probably been scrubbed off of YouTube, but I saw this a decade or more ago when YouTube was still open and anybody could post whatever. And this was something that I thought was really interesting.
Now, I mean, yeah, I guess it could be. I mean, I don't. I mean, see the it kind of feels like it's all sort of like Sodom and Gomorrah type thing, and like of course, I guess Babylon was like that too.
Nebuchadnezzar, that was the dude's name.
Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, no, well, because we were talking about the dude that's been like for 10,000 years. That's what I was talking about, Nebuchadnezzar. You want to get into a really, really wild conspiracy theory. You want to talk about shedding and all this other stuff. You should talk about that.
Oh, we will. We will get to it. Like um the I mean the reason why I'm bringing this up is because of like all this weird animal stuff. And like I said, I didn't get to cover all the other stuff. Like I did a little bit of the sheep and the raccoons and stuff and the squirrels and stuff like that yesterday. But we got all these weird animal things that are popping up, and now we have people who are claiming to, air quotes here, shift to animals. Now, I don't know if it's like some kind of viral TikTok explosion or they're going through some kind of social escapism. I mean, which it's kind of like what you're going after here. Your side, you believe that this is some kind of, the way they were taught, the way they were, they were brought up to it. It's some type of social escapism. Maybe they're acting out what they see in video games and stuff like that, or just acting out in general.
Kids being kids. I mean, come on.
But now we are talking about not just kids here. We are talking about grown ass adults. I mean, and we're talking about elderly people as well. I mean, just to be clear.
Hold on a second. Okay. We talked about the birth certificate and the certificate of live birth and so on and so forth, right? So when that transaction happens, okay, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, you'll have to listen to yesterday's podcast. But in order for that to happen, what happens is you are the caretaker, but you surrender your child to the state. That's why they can come in there and tell you what you can do and what you can't do. Is because when you gave them title, you gave up rights to your child. Okay, so therefore the company is always going to get you to do what the company wants. And how fucking crazy are these fucking Democrats? And they've been cuckoo for about 20 years. Okay, Democrats used to at least be respectable. They've gone fucking cuckoo since Al Gore.
Definitely.
Man, bear, pig, man.
Yeah. Man, bear, pig. I mean, I mean, the way they are phrasing this stuff, and like I said, it's elderly people, it's adults, it's teens, it's even kids. I mean, I can understand the kids, and
somebody's got to be a smart ass about it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, South Park I think did the man bear men whatever thing. Somebody else. Yeah.
Reference, yeah. But at the end, man bear pig eats him alive in the cave.
But I can see maybe 40 or 50 or whatever, but the saying this, but there seems to be this general thing, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. There has to be something out there that all these people are watching, or all these people are seeing, or all these people are doing, because they're using a term that I find disturbing.
Which is?
They feel, I mean, and they're saying they feel Now these people, and like I said, we're talking elderly, teens, and people our age, and everything else. They feel like there's an animal inside them.
Oh dear fucking God. These teachers have really fucked some of these kids up.
I mean, I agree, but I mean, I'm trying to get to the to trying to roll the whole education system when it covers these elderly people, and now these people are gathering. They're starting to do these public meetups and talk about their. I mean, honestly, I think we should have never closed down the insane asylums. I mean, if you really want to talk about it, I think we should have kept those and kept them full.
I don't think we should have kept them full. I think that okay. Um, Back then, yes. We're talking about 60s, 70s. Okay, but what they did to the patients, because you have predators that are always going to be attracted to things like this. It is they made it attractive for predators who would come in there and do certain fucking sick shit. And so therefore it became in order to protect them, you had to let them out into the wild. Some of these are are the ones back then, but what they're doing with mental health now is everybody has a mental health issue, and everybody thinks, oh yeah, you know what, you're right, I probably do have a mental health issue. If you want to know how crazy you are, just go talk to a doctor, and they'll start with your childhood, and they'll figure out a way to spin like, oh my God, you're dealing with depression and anxiety. Here, I've got a pill for that. Okay, because here's what most people don't realize, and I've said this many times, is that this is how they will disarm you, so that they don't even need to circumvent, or they don't even need to abolish the Second Amendment. If everybody has mental health issues, and they make mental health issues a reason to not be able to have a gun, this is how they legally strip you of your gun rights.
Oh yeah, I agree. But when did we become so dependent on the mental health thing? I mean, it seems like it was a flash. I mean, like, I don't remember when I was growing up. I don't remember everyone using mental health. Huh? I'm 50.
Okay, so you're older than me. So you remember back even in the early 2000s, you couldn't mention that you had any mental health issue. If you did, people would look at you crazy, treat you like you're crazy. It's like, oh, and then they just pat you on the fucking head and shit. Yeah, you never told anybody you had mental health issues, because people would use it against you and all kinds of other stuff, because they just thought that you were the shallow end of the gene pool.
Oh, true. I mean,
so we're just going to the other extreme.
Well, I mean, I think with like ADHD and autism and things like that, something seriously shifted in our society. Like you did not see this kind of behavior when I was growing up. Like in school, we still had like the special classes. You had maybe 3, 4 people in there, and it was usually people that had some type of, they had an accident at some point, got hit by a car or fell out of a tree or some kind of thing. But nowadays, if you go over to the school, those special those special rooms are full.
Come on, Sam, boy. I'm sorry. Let me.
You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah. As you were saying.
But yeah, I mean, it seems like these special rooms are full of children that have, or they claim they have mental issues, and it's disturbing. I'm saying is that, like, when I was in school, we didn't have these classrooms full of children that were, like, had autism, had ADHD, We hardly ever heard of it. Like, and I mean, you didn't hear of your neighbor or something having it, and you know, I don't believe anyone in my family ever had it, and then I had a son that had it. So I mean, it's unusual. And honestly, I think that the rise of these certain issues and certain problems is due to all of the nuclear tests we've done. That's another topic for another day, though.
Did you ever watch the congressional hearings on C-SPAN about autism?
I did, and I didn't agree with what they said, and I don't agree with how they try to treat autism like the now JFK or whatever his name is, or the current guy.
Yeah, RFK.
RFK. I mean, they're claiming that they have they're talking about using Levaquin, or whatever it's called. It's basically a vitamin they give to cancer patients. It's old, and they're claiming that the reason children are like this is because of they're not able to process I think it's ferric acid or something, and normally the only way they can get it's in cereal, and well, that ain't working. I was trying to charge my keyboard, but
Does your son eat a lot of cereal?
no, he doesn't. I mean, he gets the vitamin regardless. I mean, he gets it from you can get that same vitamin naturally that they're trying to, that folic acid that they're trying to say that you need, and that doesn't have anything to do with autism. I mean, it doesn't. If you have a folic acid deficiency, then you have a folic acid deficiency, and your doctor should be able to, pick that out of the woodwork when you bring your child in there for a diagnosis, and they should be able to determine that this is a folic acid deficiency and that your kid has autism.
I think that autism is the next stage of evolution.
I do too. 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 I think that.
I mean, I'm so jealous. I really am. I get to see my best friend, and I was like, fuck, dude. You don't care about anything, and you have no governor, and you just, fuck the world up.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, after seeing some of the stuff that, I mean, I think that something caused that evolution. But now, that being said, I think that, I think it is the next step in human evolution. And after seeing all the stuff that my son can do, has done, like.
Well, they're saying it comes from military, though. That was the whole conclusion.
The military definitely wants to weaponize it. I mean, for sure, because you had these ultra smart individuals, and I mean that goes back to the whole Epstein thing, because Epstein was trying to, figure out. I mean that goes back to the whole telepathy tapes. We should do a show on that. I mean.
I gotta say, the military does not want autistics. They will give you a discharge as soon as they find out you're autistic. I know this because I had a roommate that was forced recon, and they had him tested for autism because of the way he murdered the whole fucking village. And turns out he was autistic, and so they let him go based upon he was unfit for service. Yes, they are very gnarly. I mean, when it comes to whatever they obsess on, man, they are the savant. But the thing is like sometimes they go a little too far.
Oh, I mean, I agree, and I mean, it's probably a time and place for it. I'm sorry, I was answering the question. But yeah. A friend of mine said there's questions in the thing, and I don't know where she's talking about. Kiwi Farms. Are you familiar with Kiwi Farms?
No.
I'm not either. No, the echo's there and off. I don't know what's going on with it.
I don't hear the echo, and usually
I don't either.
Echo. There, you know, somebody's smoking some nice ganja around here. I can smell it. I think it's one of these houses over here. Mm.
Yeah.
Did I lose you?
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was trying to. That's the bad thing, you know. Like when you have comments in chat, and you know we're still trying to get this the system set up correctly where I can actually see the comments on one side of the screen and another side of the screen, and you know, and then I miss them. So I apologize if I don't see you guys' questions. I mean, I do. There are still bugs here and there.
Tell them to stick around and we'll get to the questions. That's what I do with my audience and those that want a real answer to their question. I always go through by the end and get to everybody's question, and then I close out the live stream. So I mean, most creators don't answer questions; they just talk and do their own thing, and the audience just talks amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Only the moderator, if the moderator sees something and he goes, "Oh yeah, hey, maybe I should pass that on." That's about the only way that a YouTuber, like especially if they're doing like a podcast or something that's budget worthy and stuff like that. That's why most of your live streams, they don't interact with you, not unless they're small channels. And this is not a small channel.
But I mean, it's fine. I do want to, you know, talk with everybody and chat with everybody and everything else. And I just, you know, I just want everybody to know that we're still working the bugs out, and we'll get to them.
Oh yeah, I mean, we all want to always get to them, especially if you're trying to. But sometimes, you know, the audience has got to be patient.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Just like you want us to be patient with you when we get the same question fucking 50 times in a row.
Yeah.
I've answered this already, god damn it. So
are we saying that Therians are harmless? If I can, God, words are hard today.
No, they are very dangerous because they're batshit fucking crazy. And when they're batshit crazy, that means that they're unpredictable and they can become violent at any time, especially if you offend their cat nature.
Okay, let's put this one on a strange. God, words are hard today. Lord have mercy. A strangeness scale.
Strangeness, I'll give it an 8. And for being very strange, well, you know, if 10 was high.
Yeah, 10 is our high number. 0 is our low number.
I give it an 8. It's not super weird, but it is fucking weird.
You think it might be a sign of bigger things to come?
I think it might, yeah, but not in a good way.
Well, I'm not saying in a good way. No, I mean these people.
Showing the psychological breakdown. Either this is happening because we talked about how the Earth was using collective consciousness to kind of fuck with our heads. This might be our first real evidence that we might be able to point to that can actually prove something like that.
I think we can point. Now my clock works back on. My keyboard's acting weird. I got a new keyboard. It's a K79 Red Thunder, and it's got like one of those little screens on it, and the time keeps changing, and it's possessed, and I'm not sure, it's freaking me out. But anyway, that being said, I mean, you know, I can handle like vegans and Karens and stuff like that, but you know, we're starting to get to the point where, you know, as I've been saying, shit is getting weird out there, and I don't think. I mean, I'm starting to feel like the old guy on the porch that screams, "Get off my lawn."
Dude, you gotta realize, like, I withdrew from society for 10 years and then I'm forced back in due to the fucking cough. And guess what? Imagine the culture shock. Going from, like, since, like, 2013, and about 2022, I come out and I'm like, what the is going on? Because, like, I was in my own little bubble for, like, 10 years almost.
I wonder.
What?
I just wonder if we're seeing like this massive, huge society shift, and that most of us are, not prepared for it in a mental way, or we're not prepared for the actual shock that it will be when it does happen. I think something's already happened, and we just maybe we don't. No one, like with the cop thing. People were doing their thing at home and everything else, and the world was just, kind of like stumbling along. We had no idea what was going on outside, except for this and that. We had no idea that the things they were wanting to give us was causing people to, have heart attacks and fill up with white clots and things like that. And
well, according to the World Health Organization, none of that happened.
That's bullshit. I know a doctor and people that was in the mortuary field that were pulling them out of people. And I mean, honestly, I will be the first to admit to anybody on this channel and anywhere else, I am scared to death to talk about this subject because it is still taboo by YouTube standards.
Can I say one thing on this? And I want to give you a conspiracy theory. Because I
be careful how you say it. Be careful how you say it. Be careful how you say it. How you bounce around it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the guy I read, Billy Meyer, he actually predicted that this would happen way back when. And he actually, as things were unfolding, because he was trying to kind of, put out as much warning to the community as possible, what was coming, how to deal with it, and so on and so forth. And like why you should be scared of it, because basically it separates your consciousness from your body. It's basically attacking the kernel of the spirit. Which that is one of the most. That's really what makes it scary. Not all the other stuff. It's actually what it does to the human being to rip the spirit and the physical body apart. But essentially, when Nixon was getting impeached, he was so upset. Because he was a son of a bitch, and he didn't like the fact that he, like Trump, he felt like he was being wronged. And so what he did is one of the last things he did, because there was no consequences, he opens up China. But he makes a deal with Mao. Mao, being compartmentalized, actually creates backyard labs. These backyard labs end up, and there are actually sympathizers within the U.S. government on this, like Dr. Fauci, who therefore are doing some of the funding, and that's how it ended up where it ended up. And then it was actually intended, what Nixon wanted was something that would attack the American people to get his fucking revenge. That's how stupid and sadistic the fucker was. This whole thing started not because something crazy happened in the lab, but because you had a vengeful president that used one last resource to kind of exact his revenge because he was pissed. Because he was even pissed after the '60 election too, and he felt like he got wronged, and he was never over it after that.
Actually, it's funny you said that. Someone in chat a while, like I don't know, 4 or 5 comments back said, well, Nixon wasn't senile or the Antichrist. I'm not sure which way they said that. But yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. But I agree. I don't know. I think something extremely weird's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, do you believe the spirits could be evolving?
The spirits always evolve.
No,
That's
no,
what
no. I
mankind
mean,
is about.
no. Okay, well, all right. We know that humans can evolve to some degree. Either for their intellect, their abilities. They either get smarter, dumb, or dumb smarter. And right now it seems like humans, with technology, cell phones and stuff, they seem smarter, but they're not really smarter. I mean, children now can do all kinds of crazy things on, tablets and phones, but if you set them down in front of a desktop, then, they don't know how to open up a file. I mean,
It's environment.
yeah, it's environment. Um, so,
You're saying spirits evolve, though, like that.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly how to word that, but I'm thinking like if okay, if the human form, like the Masons believe that there are like two versions. So they believe that there's this thing you see, and then once you pull apart the veil, that's when you see like the Ark of the Covenant. So there's something you see, and there's something that's hidden. Okay. What we see is our physical self. When you pull that veil back, that is the spirit. Now, I'm wondering if the spirit itself is not evolving somehow. If we are not a step, because in order for us to evolve as humans, it seems like our spirit needs to evolve.
Okay. Would you like to know what I've read on this subject?
Sure.
Okay. So the only person that would even talk on somebody like this is Billy Meyer. And it was actually very fascinating. So going back to reincarnation or rebirth, continuous living. Okay. There's certain parts that are actually part of this whole thing. So you have this spirit, which is basically think of it like the tower. And then you have your hard drive, which is your memory bank of all of your different lifetimes, right? And then you also have your psyche, which is your in your solar, which is your soul, or in your solar plexus, which is your personality, and that is a rolodex of different personalities in which you have. Okay, so as you're leaving one body to go into the afterlife, you have to spend so much time there downloading and processing the finite data, because the spirit is collecting all this in the background. It's being recorded so that therefore it can be processed. The useful information can be kept. The unuseful information can be scrubbed. So therefore it only has current up to date information that is functional. And so if you don't have enough time, what is end up happening is the creation itself, in order to because life just keeps coming, and every time life comes in, a spirit has to attach. Hold on, Sam, shut up, kick it down. So a spirit has to have time to be able to process that. Some it's I've heard estimates anywhere between like 100 to 200 years. Okay, the maybe 50 to 100 years. That the spirit needs the time to be able to process this. Now, when we are going beyond our population, because there's only enough spirits based upon the amount of life that's actually been here, so that there's never any excess. Now it has to start creating new spirits. Now, each spirit, as populations have boomed and then busted, boomed and busted, is at different evolutionary paths. Right now, we're seeing a lot of dumb spirits being brought in, because these are new spirits to make up for the deficit. Because you're not even getting to spend the full 50 years. You might get 5 to 10 years before you're brought back in, because of how large the population has gotten, and it just hasn't been able to balance out, because it's beyond capacity. It's beyond what it was intended capacity.
I mean, there are what culture is it that believes, or what religion believes that there's this supposed to be large cathedral in heaven, and this is where all the souls are, and that the souls are a finite source, and once this thing runs out of souls, then you have there's no more souls, and then if it doesn't fill back up, then that's the end of the world.
Yeah, that fits this narrative in the sense that that would be if you were being told this in ancient times, because part of what Meyer says his mission is which starts with the Book of Enoch, 10,000 years ago, is that because of what the angels had done, the celestial sons, what they had done is they would lead us down a path to where we would be such overpopulated that we would run the risk of destroying the planet, and so therefore we needed to be part of our society is how we manage our population and stuff like that, kind of like a little bit of eugenics. Okay, but it's something that's been out there, but this was what all of the prophets of old were actually trying to warn us about when they started talking about what they call the apocalypse. Because the man that's carrying the pail of water into the house, that's the age of Aquarius. So we're going into it in the age of Aquarius. We've blown our population up to this amount. That would be what would happen. If you were trying to explain it, you know, 2 or 3 thousand years ago, with the simplistic understanding that you had at the time.
Hmm.
What?
Oh no, I was just thinking about it. I was trying to, I'm sort of processing it. I mean, I haven't really thought about the whole. I wasn't like I said, this wasn't even on the thing about like the spirit evolving and things like that. And this whole corner of the topic. Normally, I kind of think out these things when we're but before we do it, and we kind of like went this way with it, and I'm kind of interested in it, in kind of like sort of developing a theory, and sometimes sometimes I pause myself. I'm like okay. Am I to the point where I believe this, or if I or I'm kind of like stunning myself, and yeah, I mean, I do think that we're evolving somehow. We're evolving, and maybe there's multiple levels or multiple things of evolution. I mean, when it comes to the human physical self and the human soul, or spiritual, or whatever it is you want to call it.
Yeah. I think that you're onto something. I think that there's some truth in that, because even that gives it just the same explanation that I gave, but in less of a technical way, that what you just gave up. But it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. It just means that new souls have to be created. So, um, that's the part that it doesn't talk about. But yeah, I think that if you really wanted to look at it on the spiritual level, then these people might just be new souls. They're very lowly evolved, and so they're just kind of figuring out the world. They're in their first few lifetimes.
I mean, maybe, but I'm also stuck on the thing that maybe they're being influenced. Maybe they're being controlled some other way, and that will fall back into the whole, batshit crazy thing.
Well,
I mean, when you think about it, I mean, it just sounds crazy. I mean,
not necessarily, because here,
yeah, I mean, I know we're exploring. I know we're exploring the topic. I mean, there at the beginning, and we were hammering away at this, and you were like, yeah, these people are just batshit crazy.
But
Um,
you've also brought me around of like there's other possibilities too. So maybe they might not be just, maybe they are batshit crazy. Maybe there's some that are batshit crazy. But if it actually turns out that it's a possibility that it could be a new spirit, okay, I can go along with that. That would make up and convince me that there is enough reasonable doubt that it may not be necessarily crazy. But how familiar are you with collective consciousness and the studying around it?
I mean, I am, but I mean, see. This is the thing we're getting into. Like when we start talking about, okay, we can kind of like rotate back to that or circle back to that, but when we're talking about these people and they're saying they feel the animal inside and all these, these other things, and like when I say something's influenced them, for some reason this idea of skinwalker and the Indian culture where these people thought, some of these people thought they were animals, or they had these animal spirits inside them, and this is how they felt. It may be something. And we're seeing all these orbs, and it seems like we're falling back on this orb thing. And I literally had to figure out a title to keep orbs out of this time. I mean,
what is this orb thing? Why is it so? Why is it showing up in everything? Like, cause not that I'm discounting, but we can sometimes go through confirmation bias. Like, okay, now this proves my point. Now here's another thing, and we're not seeing the full thing. So what's the thing with the orbs? Like, why does this really stick out to you?
They're coming out of the ocean. There's for sure video proof. And if we go back, and let's say back before AI, when Christopher Columbus was sailing across the pond and everything, there's literally in his diary he's talking about these orbs going underwater and following his ship, and popping out. Now you could say that that's like, okay, maybe the guy's tripping his balls off, or he's got scurvy or something, but you flash through history, you start hearing all these things about orbs. You start hearing all these things about
cigar UFOs,
UFOs or whatever they are. And I mean, there's ancient medieval paintings that show them in it. There's during the plague.
You're familiar with the shield in the sky, right? With Alexander the Great.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean here recently. I mean, I don't want to fall back on the Bledsoe orb or anything like that. And plus, you've not watched that other video yet. There's a what's her name? Kacey Musgraves. You know who that is, right?
No.
Okay, she's a singer, and I think an actress. I saw her the other day. Yep, first one. She's an American songwriter and musician.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Country. She's like the Texas 2-bit. She's like she was the 5th season of the USA Network Nashville star. Whole bunch of records. Made a whole bunch of money. A lot more famous than we are. She's really cute. I mean, she is. I mean, I'll send you a thing on her. But this is the common, trailer park country girl type thing. She's from Sulphur Springs, Texas. She sings country pop and folk. Her like record labels are Mercury, MCA, Interscope, and Lost Highway.
Damn.
I mean, she's one of them. Well, anyway, the reason why I'm bringing her up is because she and her what do you call it, assistant or whatever, manager, they were on a plane coming back from a trip, and they had video. They were literally being chased by orbs in the sky.
If they were being chased, they would have been caught up to them as fast as these things.
Well, I mean, they saw them. I mean, like during the whole. I mean, like I said, this is just one of the more recent things that happened. I mean, like during the whole. I'm sure you remember, the China balloon that flew across America and Canada.
Yeah. I still think that this whole thing is a psyop. With what's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. Lou
Ping?
Elizondo and
Oh
everything else like
no.
that.
Okay, yeah.
I think, I think the whole, especially with the whole UFO stuff. I think that now that they're using it as PR. The only, from what I understand, you remember the Phoenix Lights?
I do.
Okay, according to Meyer, the Federation, that his group of friends are connected to, decided that they just wanted to kind of introduce themselves and show them that that you're not alone, to just kind of open up people's thoughts to start questioning, like, are we alone or are we not? We need to have this conversation. And so that's why they did that whole thing. And they did it very slowly. It was actually intended to do that, to bring awareness to this whole thing. Everything else, from what I understand, because we have our own, these vehicles, they're ours. We need to bring them to the public so that we can start using them in warfare, especially if we're going to get outmanned and outgunned, like, let's say, in Iran. What better than to be able to have our own vehicles? But we're portraying them as otherworldly so that we can go in undercover and do all kinds of weird shit. You see what I'm saying? It's you need to have plausible deniability and be able to have your own shit go around, because we're not the only ones that have them.
Hmm. I mean, have you heard of the Brown Mountain Lights?
No.
Okay. You said the Phoenix. They said the Phoenix Lights, and I was actually kind of curious if Myers had talked about the Brown Mountain Lights.
He
Um.
probably has.
Now another reason why I bring those up is because the Brown Mountain Lights are um the they're on a mountain range down here in North Carolina, and I'm trying to make sure we don't have no echo and trying to fix that one thing there. Um, sorry. But at night you see these lights over the mountain and they go flying through, and it's more orbs. um, and they've been going on for 30. No, they've been going on for about 100 years. Um, there's and they can't explain it. I mean, locals believe it's some kind of government base in there, and that's what's causing them. But anybody can go see them, and no one can explain them. And there's another spot here in Virginia, a place called Lover's Leap. Um,
Uh-huh.
and in the bottom down there, like the Parkway. Did you ever get to walk the Parkway?
The Parkway of.
The Parkway. I mean, it's what's. I mean, I've always thought it was called, like, the Parkway was this universal name given for a stretch of road the government built back in the day that runs through. It's kind of like the AP, but
Yeah, they basically, it has a like what you're talking about, like an island that's a park all the way down the block. It's multiple blocks of it.
no, it's Parkway. Uh, uh,
I mean, I've seen that. I've walked on one, but I don't, like, know the difference. It's just, you don't see them very often.
no, it's the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's uh 469 miles long.
I Where is that at?
It goes from, well, it comes through here. Like I said, the AP and the Blue Ridge comes through here. It goes from, let's see, runs for 469 miles through 29 countries in Virginia and North Carolina, linking the Shenandoah National Park, the Great Smoky Mountains, and it runs along the spine of the Blue Ridge. Um,
I bet you that's where I got off at. Because I ended up right as we got done doing the roller coaster was in the Shenandoahs. We got off and we had to walk we had to walk east a little bit to like 10 or 20 miles to get to a Greyhound because we were heading to Florida.
I want to. I heard like in your podcast. I heard you say something about Greyhound. I want to talk to you about, but let's finish this Blue Ridge Parkway bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because now that I think about it, I actually think that you should do the Parkway walk. I mean, you'll be on the road, but it won't be that bad. And there's plenty of places to rest, camp, and stuff along the way. And it would be.
No, I'm done with road walks. I'll do the Alabama road walk. I'll do a 50-mile, 60-mile stretch as part of a trail like the Florida Trail. But as far as I'm concerned, for Sam, no, she needs the trail, and the way that because as I was talking about, she's already antsy. She's ready to get on the road. She's ready to go sniff and explore and run around and stuff like that, like what you saw, like when we were on
Well, I
vacation
mean,
there.
now, for its defense, this is more like the trail. This is just the bigger trail.
Yeah, but it's a road walk.
But you technically can run. I mean, not you can run. Oh, you can run if you want to. But no, you technically there's it's a you can travel it. You can travel most of it by trail. I mean, there's a trail that runs around and back through it and everything else. But the reason what I'm saying is that I think if I was in a similar situation that I would actually utilize the Blue Ridge Parkway because there's a lot of opportunities and things along the way,
Such
and
as
um, places to stay, food, things like that, multiple
what
towns.
about what about work? What about money?
Oh
You see,
yes,
the thing is
yes, yes,
like the
yes,
only thing that's
plenty.
bringing me off the trail into a city is to make money.
I mean,
Once I
you
make the
wouldn't even
money, I'm
have
going back on the trail.
you wouldn't even have to come into the bigger cities to make money. I mean, there's like yeah. I mean, my when I grew up. I mean, when I grew up, yeah. Well, when I was growing up, I lived beside the Blue Ridge Parkway, and there are like ski resorts up through there. There are like little country places, and they always need somebody to go out there and give them a hand. If you want to work a day, they'll let you work a day. If you want to work a week, they'll let you work a
Yes, but
week.
how do you find these people?
Just along the way, man. I mean, there's like the Parkway is this interesting place. One, I mean, if you did go on it, of course, I would give you a list of, hey, this is where you need to go. Um, but for the most part, I mean, there's as you go along. I mean, we're talking like hundreds and hundreds of national parks along this thing. So there's like food, water, everything, and the rangers keep everything stocked up. They're real nice about things. And like I said, along the way as well, there's like country houses and stuff that are set up as like bed and breakfasts, and then there's ski resorts that are set up. And I mean, you'll see all this stuff along the way. I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
but it
there's a
costs
lot
money
of.
to stay at those though too. Some of those,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying is that a lot of these places will let you stay there and work.
Just like be a temporary worker for like a week or two to make some money, get on down the road.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And you just walk up to the resort and say this stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like there's an office there. You go in, you say, hey, look, I'm walking down the trail. I mean, walking down the parkway, and you guys got anything, or can you help me out, or is there there any work? And then I guarantee 9 times out of 10 they'll put you to doing something. Um,
Really?
yeah, I mean,
I might do that for the experience and for the content.
and I mean, there's I mean, I can think of one place called Lightning Ridge up through there, and it's a bunch of summer homes, and anyone that needs to do something could go up through there and go house to house to house to house to house, and they would more than happily hire you to, you know, pick up the yard because they're not home through winter and stuff like that, and you know, and are sometimes the parks will take and say, okay, look, I mean, when I needed like a little extra cash or something, I would go up to the national parks along the way, and I was like, you know, you guys have anything I can do? And they say, sure, go out there and, you know, change the trash bags and the trash cans. And so I'd spend a day doing that. I mean, yeah, it's a you should definitely, that's something I would definitely check out.
I would check something else out. Yeah, I'd do something like that. Fucking that yeah. I mean, because I wanna that's part of. So you, what did you want to talk about Greyhound for?
Okay, yeah, Greyhound. Now, you know, you're talking about being able to get off before Pennsylvania. Um,
Yes. No, before Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Harrisburg in Pennsylvania, which is the stop right after Pittsburgh.
Were you aware that they had stopped doing some of the smaller or most of the smaller stops?
Oh, I mentioned. Okay, remember when I caught the first bus? I was gonna be when I was supposed to be walking to the AT from Florida, and I was catching a bus to Jacksonville because that was gonna be the best bet. A subscriber had actually sent me money for a bus so that I could buy it, and the bus missed, and I started walking north anyways, and that's how I ended up on the Florida Trail.
Yeah.
Okay, Flixbus, that was the first month that they'd taken over from Greyhound.
How have they
Okay.
changed?
Huh?
How has the buses themselves changed?
Haven't you listened to me, bitch?
Oh yeah. I mean, I have, but I mean, like I said, I've yet to still be on one. I mean, I bitched about the buses when they were Greyhound.
You know what? The Jefferson Lines is nice. If you can stay away from Greyhound, stay away from Greyhound. Especially, like, you got to be careful. There are some of these bus drivers that are on a power trip, and either because of ESG, affirmative action, or some other fucking, bullshit because they can't lose their job. These fucking bus drivers will take everything out on you. Have a whole power trip. I've actually been with a couple of bus drivers who are like, yes, I am famous on YouTube. I've got over 1 million views and I still stand behind what I fucking did.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. These they can't get bus drivers, so especially what. I think it was like right after 9/11 is kind of when it started going downhill because, or maybe it was after that, because the bus drivers were getting charged and stuff like that, just like the cockpits. So they started putting all that other stuff in there, and so now these bus drivers start acting like, they're in danger every time and da da da. No, them being a dickhead is what puts them in danger. There was one bus driver, the first bus I'd ridden, and since I got stuck in Lake City, I went from Chattanooga to Cincinnati. Everybody on the bus was like, "Dude, we're just trying to fucking get to where we're going, but if this bus driver comes and messes with me, he's gonna end up under the bus." Yeah, the whole place. We put tons of complaints in, and the Greyhound just says, "Oh well."
Have I ever told you my Greyhound story, the bad one?
No, but I'm pretty sure Greyhound has a reputation for fuckery.
Now here's the my Greyhound story. Well, one of them. I got a few. I mean, I used to ride Greyhound a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Well, back in the day, this is probably 30 years ago, I think. Well, anyway, this was on the news. I mean, you can verify it. Anyway, I was on the Greyhound bus. There was a guy that got on the bus from Canada, and he crossed into, I think some part of Washington. Anyway, that's when I got on the bus, and we were going through the upper part of the United States. I can't remember exactly where our stop was, but anyway, it was at night, and the guy that got on the bus was sat beside this other guy, and this dude was sitting there chilling out, jamming. He had some, this is the earphones that had the wires and stuff on it, back then. Um, and he was just trying to, sleep or whatever. And this guy got real mad at him and pulled out a knife, cut his head off, and sent it down the aisle of the bus.
Oh damn! You
Yeah.
got to watch that?
Oh yeah. I got to watch it. I mean, it was. Yeah, I mean, I was like 2 seats. I was 1 seat over, 2 seats back. Yeah.
Was it really quick or something?
It was no. It was. Dude was taking his time, and I mean, there was a lady over beside me that was. She just woke up and started seeing it, and she was screaming her head off, and I mean, I was like, hey, bus driver, stop! There's some weird shit going on back here, and yeah, it was some messed up stuff, dude. I mean, it really was.
Yeah, I've heard of some shit, but fuck, dude. No, I once met a girl. You've heard me talk about the crazy Christian cult, right?
I've heard you talk with a few, yeah.
The holy rollers, the ones that would beat you if you looked at a woman.
And is that the one that were are they like the yellow restaurant cult or whatever?
The what?
The yellow brick restaurant cult?
No. This was in San Antonio. This is in my early 20s.
Go ahead and talk about it. I got you about it.
Yeah, so I got drunk so I could sleep on some rocks because it was gonna be a fucking prickly night, and and I was sleeping next to a family for security, for both their security and mine, and this van of Christians comes in, hey, da da da, I'm like, I'm drunk, and they're like, that's fine, you can sober up, we'll get you taken care of in the morning, da 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 da, have breakfast, you go to bed to sleep in, you're good, you're good, you're good. They just kept saying bed, food, bed, food, bed, food, until you got up and got in the fucking van, and then you get there and they strip you of everything, anything they don't want you to have, they throw in the trash. So, yeah, I was Mormon at the time, so they took my Book of Mormon and threw it in the trash. And they're like, dude, if you want to keep it, then you can't stay here. And I'm like, it's just a fucking book. So,
I mean, are they what kind of what kind of religion were they exactly? I mean, like it.
they were some Southern Christian group. They would have been, but here no so this is what they did. They preyed on the homeless, right? And they bring you in there, and so right before our meal, they're like, we need you to or we're praying, and everybody's trying to speak in tongues and da da da. This guy's explaining to me that I need to start speaking in tongues, and if I don't, eventually they'll start beating me until I start speaking in tongues. So this, like I said, it's a holy roller church.
Now, I believe we spoke sometime a while back about some of that, but yeah, we did. And that next week, how do you feel about doing a cult show?
I can talk about my experience, but I wanna explain to what a little bit bigger part of this, because this gets much bigger. I really don't talk about the other part of the story. I only talk about what happened up until that girl came up to me. I never really talk about what happened after that, which is okay. I would come in contact with some of these guys that I'd seen, and they were sitting there and spouting all this Christian stuff, and they were collecting donations and stuff like that to be able to fund this group because it was a not for profit, and so this was how they were actually getting their housing, and so basically they brought him in, they brainwashed him. It's kind of like what you would say the Yellow House cult is. A lot of the same thing, but they actually, like, a lot of the homeless were being exploited to pick up donations for this guy.
Wow. For anybody that was curious about the Greyhound beheading, you can go search the individual that got murdered was Tim McLean. I just did a search for it. There's a whole wiki page on it, and then you can find all the articles and the news things, so you can see where he was coming out of Canada. It looked like it. I guess it happened. Were we in Canada when it happened? Hell, I don't know. I mean, I know we were going into Canada, and then we come out of Canada, and he come into Canada, but anyway, yeah, it was a messed up thing.
Well, you know what? It might have been a deal gone wrong.
I don't know. He was working as a carnival barker, whatever that is.
Oh, okay.
I
One
mean,
of them might have escaped.
yeah. I mean, I there for a while. I mean, actually, almost worked for a carnival. I mean, it was real easy to be a carny.
I had a girl try and seduce me to come be one.
What's up with that? What's up with that? Everybody I know or knew. I mean, mostly knew because after they joined the carnival, I've never seen them again. But every guy that, and including myself, I mean, like that's what about got me pulled in. I mean, the carnival come to town. I went to this little carnival in North Carolina, and I was dressed in a trench coat. I had a top hat on. I mean, I was my younger self. Probably looked a lot better than I do now.
They live under an ancient system, though, a system that we don't even recognize.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, that is for sure. I mean, carny way of life is some crazy stuff. And I mean,
I don't know. I think I'd get along in it, though.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I everything I've heard, it's wild. I mean, you ever been to that town? What is it? I think there's one in Florida, and there's one up toward New York that is nothing but retired carnival people.
No.
That is a wild place, and you should go up there if you can check it out. I'll send you. Maybe it's wait a minute. Ooh, wait a minute. Maybe it's was it Carnival? Was it Pennsylvania? Wait a minute. Carnival. We'll cover it in a little while. Right. Oh well, but yeah, it seems like it might be a cool place for you to check out. I know I would. I mean, I definitely would.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking about Gibsonton, Florida. Yeah.
Where is that in?
That is on the Gulf side of Florida, like right in the middle.
Oh, so it's over by like St. Pete and fucking
Hillsborough County, I think.
Oh God, Hillsborough County. Yeah, you don't want to go in that fucking county. He's one of those like media sheriffs. Like, yeah, I think that's there's a couple of sheriffs down there that made a real big name for themselves, especially on social media.
Is that the one that, or one of the ones that? Oh, I remember now. I'm saying like they were arresting everybody for like that they arrested that one guy for selling jailbroken Amazon sticks and stuff like that. And he's
yeah. Well, no, I'm talking like there was some big stuff about the guy at Polk County is actually the one, and he's, from what I understand, he is really a horrible person.
Is that the one that comes on like news all the time and does these like news reports and shows pictures of people and shit? Wow. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's he's the sheriff, I think, of Polk County, Florida. You don't fuck with him.
I don't like Florida. I don't.
Yeah, Florida went to shit.
It did. I got a oddly, I got a report the other day Um, it's the closest resort to Disney World there. Actually, it was a part of it was actually an attraction for Disney World that was right there. But they had like hotels and things like that there, and it has literally been turned into like a homeless thing and being taken over by gangs.
Are you fucking kidding me? Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, you know, people needed a place to stay, and they took it over, and it's you know they're living the dream in Disney World, man.
Yeah, but the thing is it sounds like the way that the news portrays this, it makes it sound like it's a really big thing, but you're not seeing the numbers on the ground. I'm not, well, but the thing is like with all the World Cup that's coming, all the host cities like Kansas City and sure Philadelphia is going to be one, so Kensington's probably going to be cleaned up. MetLife Stadium's going to be one. So you're going to have all these different host cities, and they're going to clean it up like San Francisco did for Xi Jinping. This is normal for all the cities to do, and they act like California just did it like, oh yeah, look at them, you know. No, it was just a way to spin it, but like all the cities do that shit, especially when big events come, whether it be the Super Bowl or anything. And so like these big towns, they're becoming ghost towns. They're pushing them out into other places, and they're letting them go and pushing them into the suburbs where they can therefore fuck all that shit up.
Now, it's interesting you said the World Cup. Um, I was sent a rather large box. Um, I was told not to open it until the World Cup. Um, and apparently it's the same individual that sent it to me is sending me another one. Now, it's supposed to contain some really weird stuff about the World Cup. The whatever you call it,
Mm.
and I've never been a fan of it. So I've never really cared about it or the World Cup thing, whatever. I thought, okay, here we have some kind of cool thing that um if I wanted to, I could have like a party or something. We could all talk about it, but maybe I'll just do it online. I don't know. But yeah. So I have no idea what's in those boxes.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's kind of
Well,
scared a little bit.
yeah. Well, I'm sure it's something that'll be novelty items, and you'll
No,
tickle pink.
not that kind of thing. I can
Yeah.
I can
Well,
I can assure you it's not novelty items.
well, as long as the head is fake, we're good.
Yeah, I don't think it's a hit. No, they would have. Yeah, nothing like that. But this is like I think this is like you know papers and books and that's what it sounds like. Nah, I did check it. It's like papers, books, and probably like videos and shit, like stuff that I probably shouldn't have.
Well, people. Here's. I met a guy today. He is an OG for fucking for Mexican mafia out of out of San Francisco. Okay, he's dealing with cancer. He's terminal. He's done. He's kind of like he gets to, it's he gets to retire. And so, he's here, with family and stuff like that, and he's kind of bumming around, just kind of like living his best life and stuff like that.
God, cancer's so scary.
Yeah, well, he's talked about it and stuff like that. I'm just like, dude, don't bother me. I don't, I told him about my terminal diagnosis and like how I got to either get it fixed and it probably won't even fix it. But um, it's just yeah, you meet people. I've met a Rothschild, which who had his doctorate degree by 21. I found out what like how they raised their children through non-authoritarian and how they set up the trust fund and got to listen to the stories. And I still think that he was Louis the Rat. Because he talks about John Gotti, but then he goes, damn, Louis the Rat. I wish I knew who he was. Like he was Louis the Rat, but he was dropping hints and stuff like that. His mom was a federal judge in Kansas, and she was known for the fucking death penalty. And like his dad was fucking Secret Service, and this is how I knew about the nuclear footballs being on the loose before it ever made it public or even semi-public. Like I was learning about this a long time ago. Like, and this has happened. Yeah, like I've got to meet people on all like snipers and special forces and fucking all kinds of people on my travels. So I forgot where I was going with this.
Oh, it's
Um,
fine. We've been on for 2 hours, and this is either one we get a recharge or we fall off.
huh?
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said either we get a recharge or we fall off about now. Um, but yeah, I'm out now. I've lost track of time of things. But,
Well, yeah, we get it. This is more like two guys having a conversation than really a podcast, and it's on there because like most people they want to listen to an intelligent conversation. They just like to be a fly on the wall.
yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree. I agree with you. I agree, and that's what makes us different. Um, that's what makes it. That's the idea I wanted for the show.
Yeah, and pretty soon you'll be the next Joe Rogan.
Um, look, I gotta run my son into the bedroom real quick. I will be right back. You can go ahead and talk about something. The next thing we're going to talk about is
Hey, hold up real quick. Is there any questions? That way it gives me a topic.
no, the person that actually had questions. She had to get off and go to bed. But there are someone talking about going through Greyhound and the road through Spokane. Um, I'm not sure what's going on with that. No, just general stuff in there. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, um, okay. So I'll pose a question to anybody that wants that's made it this far, and because I'm trying to figure out what to do. I've always wanted to go to Philadelphia. Like when it came down to going to San Francisco, when I went to San Francisco in the early 2000s. Um, you know, you know, uh, I don't know. I wanted to go to Philadelphia because I just kind of wanted to. I've always wanted to go to where there was constitutional history and stuff like that. It's always been a big fascination of mine. It's why I know, like, it's why I have such a deep understanding of like constitutional law and kind of like how the whole system is because it's always been a hobby of mine. But I've always wanted to go to Philadelphia, but it is so run down that I'm worried because I don't look like a poor hobo like that. I'm carrying a beat up bag just trying to get by. I'm actually carrying an Osprey bag because I intended on being on a nature trail. And now being around Kensington, which is right as soon as I get off the bus, I'm gonna have an opportunity to I could very easily either get robbed or fucking have some other shit happen to me just wandering around the town, and I'm kind of a little worried about it. So, the cool thing about Greyhound is you can buy a ticket anywhere. Like I bought a ticket to Orlando, even though I was getting off in Gainesville, because it saved me $75 on the ticket if I would have just done a direct to Gainesville ticket one time. So the cool thing is you can get off. So we'll have like a 20-mile walk to the AT, and we're gonna trounce around there. We'll go south for a while, go down to Harper's Ferry and kind of see what that's like, and then hike back up, so that we can, just kind of enjoy ourselves and stuff like that. Because Sam hasn't been on a nature trail since we left the Florida Trail about almost 2 years ago now.
Okay.
Okay, you back?
Yeah, I'm
Save
back.
me, save me.
That's fine. I was thinking about it. You said Joe Rogan. I'm like, Yeah, that makes sense. That this is kind of what this podcast reminds me of because I didn't go out of my way to make it like that.
Just happened.
Just happened. Yeah. Um. Sorry, guys. For the ones that don't know, the year before last, my son got real sick. um. Back when we had that hurricane, um, he decided to drink the water. He caught a virus. We didn't know what was going on. We were in and out of the hospital. His he kept losing vitamins in his body, and he couldn't eat. He couldn't drink, and we eventually had to put a tube in his nose and pump food in his belly. And speaking of which, I got a bunch of medical stuff I need to get rid of. Anyway, he's better now, but he lost the ability to walk when he was in the hospital. I'm not sure if they did something to him or what happened, but something definitely occurred. And we're getting him back to the point where he's starting to be able to walk, but he's still in a wheelchair. So sometimes I have to, jump up and help him, push him, and do certain things. But for the most part, he gets around on his own, and he is really interested in what I'm doing, and he comes in and kind of like spies on me sometimes, and makes it a point to try to get my attention too. So he's just being a kid. Um, so yeah, that's Eric, and you guys will probably see him at some point. And like I said, he's really talented and whatnot, and but but yeah, in your travels, have you ever seen any kind of like like where planes would like they would dump their waste or whatever, and it would turn into ice and fall down? Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, have you?
Oh yeah, I have.
Where?
I mean, well, I've seen it in like they try to do it in like mountainous areas and things. You see it a lot in California, and you see it, actually you see it similar to like places on trails and things. Like there's areas where that's kind of like designated for that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you just might happen to be off trail on it.
Yeah, and it kind of comes crashing down. But anyway, people have started seeing these, and at first they thought it was that, but it's not. And this was happening between April 14th and 16th, and there'd been a lot of sky reports, but they're calling them sky ice bombs. It's this fresh, foul-smelling ice chunks that have been crashing into people's homes.
Maybe somebody's pissed off at the airlines.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think this is coming from planes.
Oh, come on.
No, no. I think this is some kind of crazy weather event. I mean, there was. You probably haven't seen that either. Have you ever seen like fish fall from the sky or anything like that?
No.
Okay, well, sometimes around here on this area or coast or whatever, like maybe a tornado will come in and it'll go across water, or maybe like a what they call a water sprite. It will go across water and it will pick up like a school of fish or something within the water, and then it will just basically dump them in an area, and you'll see them all over the place.
Okay.
I think it has to be something like that. Maybe some kind of weird environmental.
But they're saying it's foul smelling, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's, you know, maybe it's acid or something within the clouds.
Maybe it just came from Baltimore.
What's going on in Baltimore?
Oh, dude, have you ever been to Baltimore?
I mean, I've been through there. I mean, it's not like
Isn't it one of the most foul-smelling cities you've ever been through?
I always thought New York smelled funny.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never been to New York. I've been to Baltimore, and I'm telling you, fuck that. So yeah. Baltimore, yeah, that's probably one of the most foul-smelling cities I've ever been to. I can't believe that that people can actually stand that smell.
Hmm. Now, well, like we haven't talked about that yet. How do you feel about the whole rise of the robot thing? You know, all the stuff that Tesla's making and Unitree and those robot dogs and everything else.
You better get an engineering degree, electrical engineering.
I mean, did you see the video of the one where it was? I mean, you can go and basically order one now and put a payment in, and they'll bring it to your freaking house, and it helps you with like folding laundry and shit and everything else.
Well, Tesla is putting one out, and it's gonna. We started building their own robots. I think that what they're doing is they're selling future orders, not live orders.
They got video of these things working though.
Well, yeah, they're still in production though.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
he said by the end of the year. Well, he said by the end of the year that he would basically have a robot army.
Yeah, he's making $20,000 robots a year. Um, and he wants the first 20,000 to take over all of his Tesla manufacturing. So that means he's gonna fire 10,000 people at least.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean, well, 10,000 of his own people, or 10,000 people that the robots will actually replace in manufacturing facilities and stuff like that.
well, he does his own manufacturing.
Yeah, I mean, most of these are going. I mean, some of this is going to like, you know, it's definitely going to outside sources and things like that.
Yes, but he already stated that the first year or two, those robots go directly to him. People can place orders for after that. He gets the first order filled. Everybody else go fuck themselves.
Mm.
Yeah, he stated that publicly.
You know, some rich people is going to get them. I mean, they'll definitely get them.
Yeah, but that's like one or two, like a house robot or something.
Yeah, you're going to have like influencers and stuff that's going to have them and show them off and doing crazy stuff, and God knows what they'll do to them. I mean, those robot dogs are already out, and that's actually the reason why I brought this up. There's a humanoid. Well, no, this ain't the robot dog. This is the humanoid Unitree G1 robot. His name is Edward Warchuk, and he was implemented in Warsaw, Poland, of all places. And there's a video that shows him. It's a viral video. Shows him chasing wild boars out of a neighborhood parking lot and into the woods. And then he turns around and waves goodbye.
Wow.
Yeah, that I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, we're building the AI. We're building, you know.
It's still narrow, though. It's still narrow.
But I mean, it goes back to the whole conscious things we were talking about the other day. I mean, they still have we're giving them the capabilities and abilities to to go in these bipedal and humanoid machines.
But it's not consciousness. It's code. It's code that's designed to mimic human emotions. Just like a dog or a baby. Like a baby, when it's born, it looks like its father because historically, If it didn't look like the father, then it would get its head smashed. So through evolution, the baby always looks very ugly and looks like the father.
Yeah.
you know, so that's just it's. I think that what we're doing is we're seeing it mimic it and thinking that it actually is.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I know I see them getting more and more human-like and behave more and more human-like, and we,
But this is what.
that I always thought consciousness, and when I'm thinking of consciousness is like what we're doing here, and I mean, at some point, and I mean I've seen that happen. What was it, the one robot that actually got rights in that one country, the woman, uh, uh, her name starts with an S, but anyway, they actually gave her robot rights, and she was literally, and I mean this was early AI too. I mean this was not like new. I mean we're talking 10 year ago, maybe 9, 10 year ago, something like that. But I mean, they're asking her, questions and stuff, and they're asking her, how she would, what she thinks of humans, and what she thinks of the world, and I mean, she's all for destroying humanity. I mean, that's the thing, and it seems like, I mean, you can go on these chat robots, these chat, the LLMs or whatever, and you can ask them if the world will end, and you can ask them if AI will, be part of it or whatever, and some of them will tell you yes. And there's an unrestricted one too you can use, and it says all kinds of stuff.
Oh, hold on though. Are you familiar with the LLMs are like last year's code now?
Oh
Are
yeah,
you
yeah.
familiar with the ex Google employee that did a AGI in robotics, set up the parameters, everything for AGI, and including the code that would be needed to make it?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I did hear bits and pieces about them working on new codes and them implement new codes, and like all the
Mm.
problems that we were having, you know, like having to use all of the the big GPUs and all the memory and stuff like that. Microsoft turns back around. Well, Intel and Microsoft turns back around and says, "No, we can do it this way," and they come up with this thing that runs, um, what Grok and everything else is running on all these GPUs and stuff. It can now run on a phone without any other equipment. And so the on the tech side and on the programming side, something has definitely already shifted and changed. And it wasn't necessarily the people that done it. It was the AI.
Well, the guy that did this released it January of this year. So they're already starting to say that we've reached AGI, that we just reached it this year, or at least the understanding of the code to design the system. So we may have AGI functional, and this is also, he moved there because of robotics. There's a channel called AI Revolution. It's an AI channel, but it's called AI Revolution, and it talks about all the new stuff, the really awesome stuff that's happening with AI. Um, and yeah, he was talking about it. Basically, we have the foundation of AGI. We're just building it right now, and it should be built by the end of this year or next year.
Yeah, yeah, I think we're there. I think we're there.
Yeah, and we even have the metrics to tell about general intelligence.
Let's see, what's supposed to be after that?
Super.
Is it super?
Yes, and you're supposed to go from universal basic income to universal high income.
I'm shifting gears. I'm trying to figure out a way we can do TikToks, like watch TikToks and see some of this crazy stuff that they're talking about. We can't do it today, but I don't know how I could. You only have.
You might want to look at copyright law.
You can do it. You can do it. I mean, there's a thing. I
Yeah, but you got to stay within copyright law,
yeah
though.
yeah.
Because even though the Chinese can steal yours, you can't steal theirs.
True true true.
Well, you can. You just got to be an American company that pretends that you're just as virtuous. Yeah.
Well, I mean, this was more like a reaction type thing. I mean, there was, some of the stuff that I was talking about. It would make more sense if you saw it, and then we can kind of debate if it was AI or not.
Yeah, it's getting harder to tell AI. Like I was telling you what I use AI for. I mean, what do you think of my stuff? Has it improved my overall content?
Have you asked AI to look at your channel and analyze it and everything?
I don't have the money to pay for the program that would allow me to do that. But yes, Claude and OpenClaw can do stuff like that if
Grok
you
will-
pair them together.
Grok will do it for free.
Yeah, well, actually, YouTube prevents. Actually, I think the reason why is because I told AI was not allowed to use my material. I blocked my stuff from AI, which I probably shouldn't have.
No,
I probably need,
if you
huh?
I said no, you should not do that. And I mean, a while back I would have said, oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. But no, I think that you should go ahead and let them use it because they're going to use it anyway. And that is there's a website you can go to and see if they have actually used any of your videos or content or whatever. And the, oddly, I can talk about it now. There was a lawyer that contacted me. I think it was 4 months ago, and they tried to get me to be a star witness in a case against Nvidia. And I'm like, well, okay, well, what is this going to pay me? How much is this going to pay me? And they said that it's because Nvidia's AI and YouTube let them, and Nvidia and Meta and these other companies scrape all these top videos and things to use to train their AI. And Nvidia's AI is supposed to be, like for uh, teaching robots and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm asking them, I'm like, why would you want to use my videos, the kind of content that I write and the kind of content that I use? Why would Nvidia want to use that kind of stuff to program their robots? And that alone bothers me. It scares me a little bit because I mean some of my stuff is crazy. I don't want a robot trained on it.
Well, hold on. Did you get an answer back?
No, no. I mean, I just know they've used it. I know that it's in the system, and I know the system is active, and I know they use mine. They used like it was scanning like cooking videos because they wanted to be able to teach the robot how to cook and do stuff like that. But you know now the robot is learning time travel and physics and scary and supernatural stuff from me.
Well,
There's a big whale question mark there.
you might be considered the grandfather of time travel in the future then.
Oh, I doubt that. I highly doubt that.
If it wasn't for your work, AI would have never solved the problem.
Yeah, yeah. Probably listed as one of the grand Polacks of the world. I mean, there is one more thing I want to talk about. Well, a couple more things I want to talk about tonight. I didn't get to touch base on it. There are fish. There have been reports of fish around the world, a lot in the United States,
Come on.
a bunch in Russia, Alaska, Canada. They're calling them zombie fish because once they're caught, once they're tossed aside or once they're taken home or whatever, they're claiming. And if you see one person claim it, you see two people claim it, you see three people claim it, maybe they're bullshitting. But we're talking hundreds of thousands of cases here of fish that are basically reanimating themselves.
That's kind of creepy.
That is really creepy.
That's like a 9 on the creepy scale.
Yeah.
How do they know that they're reanimating themselves?
Well, I mean, you catch a fish and you take a fish and put it on a strainer, and some people don't put it in water when they take it home or whatever, and you know fish is dead. I mean, it's definitely dead. I mean, a fish might be on a strainer for a couple of hours, so it's definitely out of water for a while. Um, and normally once you get to that point, you skin them or sometimes you skin them, there at the creek, but sometimes people do take them home, or people will throw them in a bucket of water. But normally the fish do die um, before you end up cooking them. And there's even cases where people have stuck them in like the refrigerator and the freezer, and then maybe a week or two later they bring them out and go through the process, and well, the damn things come back alive. There's something creepy going on, dude. I swear there is. There is something really creepy going on.
I don't know. I watched this documentary. I'm getting feedback echo.
I know.
Um, there's this documentary I watched. It was talking about this volcanic eruption in this coastal town, and it was talking about the correlation between that and the 10 plagues of Exodus, and every one of them was the every one of them was something that happened as part of a volcanic eruption, like the ocean, the floor opened up of the river, which is what turned it red. The mercury caused the fish to rise. There was gas bubbles, which is why with the kids that slept on top, because for protection or whatever, the way it rose and everything else like that killed all the children, which is generally where the firstborn children would be sleeping and stuff like that. So you had um you had all of the same things, and
Where was
we
this
just sit
again?
there and go, huh?
Where was this again?
This is some, I don't know, some river. I think it was in like somewhere in like Africa that this happened.
What did the mercury come from? Like logging?
No, no, it came because the volcano before it erupted. There's things that happen to around the ecosystem to kind of tell you that it's going to happen.
Oh, okay, so
And
what was it? Was it?
and so the 10 plagues are basically the warning signs of a volcanic eruption. Because even in Meyer in his contact notes, he talks about how L was such an asshole because he set off a volcano to get to for show, as a way to be able to uh, for a show. It's just kind of a way to be able to show that he was almighty and all powerful.
Now there's well, just out of curiosity, I typed in 10 plagues volcano, and uh, there's a thing here. It talks about a massive eruption at the Thea volcano, but they're referencing the 10 plagues of Egypt. They say it's linked to the massive eruption of that
Yes, that's
volcano.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because it shows, yeah, that there's a documentary on it if you watch it. But yeah, that's really good.
Now
Um,
it says plagues 1 through 4: water to blood, frogs, lice, and flies. Volcanic ash altered the Nile's pH and climate, causing iron oxides to burgundy blood to algae to bloom to water, forcing fish and frogs out, causing a surge of insect population. I can buy that, but we've not had an eruption though. Um, Plagues 5 through 6: pestilence and boils, an influx of insects and disease and bacterial infection. I can see that if that does happen. Plague 7: hail. Okay, I can see that happening from thunderstorms. And then Plague 8: locusts. I can see that happen, but we've not had a volcanic eruption in this area, that area. Darkness. I can see that happen, but we would have to have an eruption, and then of course firstborn death. I'm not saying that that this wouldn't happen if we did have an eruption, but I
it,
mean,
it, it is a phenomenon that happens in nature.
yeah,
And some people, like if you are an advanced being and you're trying to subjugate a group of people, what do? You do something like this, and they go, "Ooh, it's from God." But it's just another human being portraying him as God. That is the God of the Jews.
okay. So you're saying you're trying to say that maybe some celestial or supernatural being is trying to communicate with us by causing all these things to happen.
Well, no, it's just like even with the Book of Enoch, they were celestial beings. They were what were they? The celestial sons, which means they come from the stars. Okay, heaven means that they come from above. Okay, it's not a place. It's a direction, I guess you would call it, or something. I'm not good at English, but um, it was a human being that convinced a primitive man that he was creation itself, and then ruled the three races of Earth, which apparently the Jews were one of them. The brown people were another, and I think the yellow people were the other.
How do you feel about the the iterations or the of man? Like what culture was it? It was one of the Indian cultures that claimed that there was one version of man that was created from mud. There was one version of man that was created from, what was it, water. One was created from fire.
No, no, that's just mythology. That's not real. It's just like we showed the volcanic eruption and everything else like that. Um, with the 10 plagues and how it is an actual it does happen in nature. It wasn't God, it was nature that did this. It was a man trying to claim credit for something, a cheap parlor trick that he knew how to do.
Right, and
Yeah.
and, and, and I can see that. I'm
And that
but
created Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all at the same time.
okay, yeah. That's that's definitely an idea there for that. I'm not saying that is. I don't know. I mean that we're throwing a lot on a volcanic eruption to
Well, I
illustrate.
mean, even look at Ezekiel's wheel. I know very little about it, but I know that he ascended up into heaven. And according to the Mormons, Ezekiel did show himself, but I don't think that's true.
well, no, the Ezekiel's wheel when it first starts, um, you know, Ezekiel is like, down on the river, and he's like, he's chilling down there. He just lost his son. Um, he, like everybody else, he's grieving. He asks God why, and demands that he bring him back, and whatever. And all of a sudden, this, here we go again, orb, um, shows up at the river, and Ezekiel's wheel, the way it's described, it's a wheel within a wheel, and that it has these different faces around it, and these cherubims and things like that. But once you kind of like draw it out, and you 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 look at it from a non spiritual or religious way, it you could draw a parallel to something like either a man-made vehicle or a UFO. Um, and then he takes him, on the ride of his life, and he goes and shows him the different versions of heaven and all of that, and tries to, he wants him to remember it. He doesn't, he makes sure that he knows that to write this down more than, I think it was 3 times, makes him do it over and over and over again. Um, so he, can say this and translate it, and so people would listen to him. But I don't know. I mean, I think that when like I said, we go back to that though. I mean, I think that something supernatural or something extraterrestrial is what kicked off religion for us.
Yeah. So if it's supernatural, what classifies as supernatural? It just means we haven't understood it yet.
Well, when I say supernatural, okay, when I say, okay, like extraterrestrial, I mean that there is something that we can physically see within our solar system or galaxy or whatever, something that we should at some point actually meet, something that is on our plane of existence. Okay. Now, when I say supernatural, I mean that it is something that is um, interdimensional, something that we cannot see, or at least some of us cannot see.
But
Um,
what does interdimensional, which means it's outside of this plane of existence?
outside, yeah, outside this dimension, outside this,
No, this plane of existence.
yeah, outside this plane of existence. But
Okay,
it
so
has the
therefore it
ability.
is still extraterrestrial because it is outside of this plane of existence.
Well, no, no. I mean, but like when I'm referring to extraterrestrial, I mean I'm considering this plane of existence the universe as a whole. Like, if I'm able to if I'm able to leave here and travel to Mars and look at Mars, and if there's aliens there, then I can see them within this realm of existence. Now, interdimensional, if I travel to Mars, I won't be able to see them because they're on another plane of existence. In order for me to see them, I would have to
A
cross
different harmonic
a
resonance.
different harmonic resonance. Maybe that's when you go into there's an experiment called the light slit test, and basically if you shine a light, I mean you can do this. You can do this outside over there. If you take a piece of paper and you cut 3 slits in it, and you shine a flashlight on it, the light that shines on the and put something behind that that piece of paper or cardboard or whatever it is you use, the light that you see there will be different from what's going through there. Now, if you measure that light, you'll see that changes and variations, but the light seems to know when you're looking at it because it will change. Um, I will go more into that tomorrow. I'll
Oh, something just happened. What? You're getting a lot of feedback.
I have a radio station down the road that
Oh man.
my other.
Well, this is WKRP, Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean we're like one of the that was weird, man. Like I have these Walker razors. They're like a headphone type thing, and I have them setting up here. I use them as like. Do you hear it now?
No, no, it's gone. It finally went away.
Okay, it's
You
it's
need to take a drink.
huh? Oh,
You sound like you're getting dry. You need to take a drink of water.
yeah. Well, I'm good for now. But yeah, I had to swallow. um, anyway, the walkers hook up by a cord to my sound output, and it they started making all this crazy wild racket, and like right when you started seeing that, right when you started hearing that, and I don't know where that was coming from. That was extremely weird because the volume is turned off on the monitors. There should be no output to these things. That's crazy. That's really crazy.
Oh, well, you got to realize you're going through the home servers as well. So everything's being filtered and monitored, and with AI, it can do 100 years worth of work in 10 minutes.
Oh, I agree. I mean, but yeah. I mean, maybe it's something like that. Maybe we're going through the system, and it just kind of like
Kind of like you're getting tapped when you get the echo on your phone.
phones have been acting really weird lately too.
Mine too.
Like calls, drop calls.
Oh no, dude, mine fucking shut the YouTube app off for me 3 times while I was in the middle of a live stream. It just completely like it closed itself off and just went dark. Like it closed the app and went and just and turned off the screen. And it did that like 3 times.
It's probably hackers. I mean, hackers messing with the systems and.
I don't know, man. I'm just telling you. I know that Apple just finally, with their most recent software update, that they finally put AI into the software update.
Are you on the? Are you doing the beta stuff like the?
No, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to do the beta shit.
I mean, mine's running. Of course, my phone's about that too. But mine's running. What's it up to now? There's a software update. um, it's it's running iOS version 26.5.
Okay, let me see what I'm. Oh, that's great.
You go to your general page and then you hit about.
Yeah, I know where.
Okay.
2621.
2621. All right, so the beta is at 26.5, so 26. You're not too far behind.
Oh wow, you do beta stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I do the beta. I mean, I can kind of like get an idea of the new features and stuff and see if I like them or want to use them.
How do you get in that?
Oh, you go to your software updates. Yeah, you go to your software update page, and then along the top you'll see automatic updates, and then you should see something that says beta, and you'll have a chance. You have a thing where you can switch on.
Oh
To
yeah, I probably turned that off because I gotta have stability. I can't deal with it. Like first thing you learn in
it's
IT
stable.
is don't.
It's stable. There's no. I've never, other than the what everybody else is experiencing with the weird calls and stuff here recently. But I mean, that's everybody else, and those people don't even have iPhones. I mean, my old lady, she has a Samsung, and she's got issues. My friend, he has a Samsung, and he's been having some weird issues all day in the past couple of days. Um, Heck, when they have issues, mine normally runs fine. And I don't know. I've never had like a crash or loss of information or anything like that. And I mean, with the beta stuff, I have more control over my battery life and apps and other stuff. So yeah, I mean, I like it. I like it.
Huh. Okay. Maybe I might. Okay. I might try because usually you got to worry about crashing, and the last thing I want to deal with is have to fucking roll something back.
Yeah.
Because like I did I ever tell you I cost a company several $1 million over a course of like 90 minutes.
What'd you do?
I didn't update.
Oh,
What it did is it reset the permissions, and so this was a mortgage broker during the height of the right as we were going into the '08 crash, and I think he lost like $20 million.
but what? Because he
Oh,
could because he couldn't trade or anything.
well, no, because all the permissions were locked out. I couldn't get into it, all the profiles. So the thing was, is the engineers were like, we're too busy, we can't do the update. And he's like, dude, I need the update. And I made a deal with him. I said, look, I says, I could, I mean, he's like, you're right there. You can do it. You can log into my server. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I can, but if I do something and it messes it up, I'm going to be in trouble. He's like, I will take the fall for it. If you do this for me and something happens, I'll take the fall for it. It's perfectly fine. And so I did it, and fucking yeah, it cost him $20 million. But the thing is he's also the guy that saved my job because I was about to get fired. And he's like, no, he explained the situation that he made the deal that because I didn't want to get, because I told him like, no, I'm gonna get fired if I do it. And he's like, dude, I'll take the consequences.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like to have that on my conscience at all. That kind of money loss. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why I almost lost my job but kept it because like I said, the guy had my back. Him and I had a good relationship because I'm very good at customer service. I mean, people give me low on like how high my prices were in business, but they always gave me 5-star plus on customer services because I do well. So I had a good enough relationship with them that we were on friendly basis at least.
Did you hear about them arresting the um, quadruple amputee?
Quadruple amputee,
Yeah, I mean he don't have no
no arms,
arms,
no
no
legs.
legs. They said he shot somebody.
How does a quadruple amputee shoot somebody?
Well, um, apparently his nickname is called Cornhole. Uh, but apparently he has the ability to like shoot a gun. He's figured out a way to do it. I mean, I
Did he curl his pecker?
I don't know, but I mean there's like no video of him doing it. But I mean they got him for first degree murder. He was driving a Tesla. This happened up in Baltimore. He was driving the Tesla, He got mad at this person. So he traveled from Virginia and he went up to Maryland. He was, like I said, he was driving the Tesla. He got up there, got in their front yard, got out, and shot this dude.
And this guy has no arms and no legs.
Yep, no arms, no legs.
How the fuck is that possible?
I mean, maybe he was using a nub. I don't know, man.
Was it prosthetics?
I mean, I think he had like prosthetic legs, but I mean, if you look at the picture, dude's like grinning from ear to ear, and then I looked at another picture, and it shows him. He doesn't really have any kind of like prosthetics you would think somebody would have like that. I mean, it looks more like sticks and blocks that he has on his feet. And someone driving a Tesla, it seems like you'd have a little more money for that kind
Oh,
of thing.
maybe he's just hillbilly in it.
I mean, his name is Cornhole.
Yeah, I mean, and you know where that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we know where that's going. So, uh, uh, did you ever panhandle when you traveled?
Yeah, I mean, I had a sign up, but I mean, I back then people just like they didn't really they would just give it to you. I mean, it wasn't I mean, I was like when I was in Florida and stuff. I mean, I go in there and just walk in and say, "Look, I need to eat. I don't have any money," and they'd feed me, or I'd go into like a hotel and tell them, "Look, um, you know, my dad traveled, would come through here. My mom used to work for, one part of your chain or whatever. I'm broke. I don't have any money. I need a place to stay. I don't want to stay outside." And normally, 9 times out of 10, somebody hooked me up.
What, you would just stand there and tell people your story, or and like
Yeah,
interact
yeah.
with
I
them?
mean, you gotta the story bit. Having a conversation with somebody in the story bit is extremely important. Um, I've noticed this. Like, I try to help homeless people up here, and when they like, I run into them. Like I told you about that girl and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and and I was telling her, I was like, look, you ought to go on Facebook and I mean, you can't really do it on Craigslist now, but you ought to go on Facebook, and there's website, there's places on there you can go on and ask people if you can couch surf, and they're more willing to let a girl do that than they are a guy, but you can ask to couch surf, and you can ask
Yeah,
to.
but
Well, I'm talking
there's a
about
lot of guys
well,
that
I'm
try
talking
and.
about couch surf with other, with females in the house and stuff like that. You can kind of check out the situation before you decide to do it. But you can be smart about it. You can check the guy out or the woman out or whatever, and you can kind of you can be as cautious or as careless as you can be. Um, but I'm saying
Uh,
where there's a will, there's a way, and if you need something over your head, you can find it. But I'm trying to say, I said, there's like these Christian groups around here. They have like Facebook groups, and I see people in there all the time asking to do stuff like this or asking for help or whatever. And this woman, what shocked me was she was not willing to get to even download Facebook and use Facebook. She had a cell phone, but she was not willing to use Facebook or any form of social media to benefit or help herself.
a Luddite.
Uh, she claimed. I mean, I tried to get her to open up and tell me her story. She claimed that once she um, was able to leave Virginia, she was going to go try to find her son, and she said
Oh,
that.
she's crazy.
Uh,
She's crazy. She's one of those.
oh, she
Um,
claims it was like a religious cult thing. This was a young girl.
Yeah, I've met ladies like that out there on the streets. I don't know. The thing is I think it comes from the loss of a child, and so they make stuff like this up, and I think that there's some sort of trauma. But you will see them. They're very rare, but you see them scattered here and there. It's like a severely broken woman. I don't know how else to explain it, but I've met a few in my life.
Yeah, there's definitely something up there.
Yeah,
And I mean,
it's really sad, but
she's not the only one either. I mean, there's like I told you, it's weird here in our town, and apparently, I mean, I checked like with some of the other local towns, and for some reason, like we lost funding to women's homeless shelters, and I don't know what the deal with that is. I mean, that's it's just like weird all of a sudden, and normally that's the one thing that you never heard about. It was always covered, always taken care of, um, but I mean, and like I said, in the past couple of months, I have seen uh, numerous homeless girls on the streets in places that shouldn't that look very out of place. Um, that wasn't what.
really,
Uh,
really, I haven't seen an increase in the female homeless population yet.
Maybe it's just here. I don't know. I mean, normally, like we wouldn't see them walking down the road, but we see them now. We like on the main strip. We're starting to see them.
Probably
Um,
because they used to be able to stay in the shelter all day. Now they can't.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's different. It's different. Um, like you don't normally think that until somebody comes up to your house and asks you if they can stay out in your woods, and you're like, well, I wish I could help you, but you're probably gonna get trampled by deer or eaten by a bear. you know, Probably not a great idea. And I don't know. I mean, we have a extremely large deer population up here, and um, you can see where they run across the field up here. I mean, every night, and it is every like like the hoof marks are 2 inches apart, and I mean literally at 3 o'clock in the morning, I go out there and feed them. I mean, there's tons of them, and they will trample you. They will run and trample you.
Really?
Yes, yes. And I mean, I couldn't imagine being in a tent, especially a camouflage one or something, being in a tent over a bank right there where they would be running and jumping, and one of those big bucks just take your tent out, and the rest of them get scared and run over top of you. I mean, you would be in a whole world of trouble. And like
Yeah.
I said, there's um, we have black bear up here now, and normally they don't bother you, but they have been acting differently. The animals have been acting stranger. I mean, they've been getting into on the porch. I got video of one literally on the porch jumping from bench to bench and getting in the trash cans and stuff like that, and they just don't care.
Well, they got to be hungry
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
domesticated.
No, no, they're just hungry. I mean, anything like that is hungry. But I mean, this is a place where they can find food. I mean, it's a safe spot for them. Here in this town.
Maybe we should have them fly a sign, then they do real well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fucking dumpster diving bears. Jeez.
I'd feed a bear. Yeah, I would. I definitely give good food to a bear if I had to.
Yeah,
Uh,
as long as you weren't the food, right?
that's right.
Hi. So what's our next topic?
Our next topic is okay. We covered the zombie fish, the robots. Can't really mess with the TikToks right now. Um, you heard about the Kit Kats, didn't you?
The what?
The Kit Kats.
What's that?
You know the candy Kit Kats.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's my favorite candy. I wasn't sure if you were talking about something else.
Well, I'm talking about the apparently in France there was it 14 million that got stolen like a heist.
Nice, dude. I hope they sell it for like 50 cents a piece. I'm buying a dozen.
I mean that this just seems like a strange thing to sell. But I mean there was the son of the company the son of the inventor of the Reese cup. Okay, yeah, there we go. I got it out. The son of the inventor of the Reese cup. He said that over Easter he decided to get some Reese cups. You know, I guess look back or whatever. And he said they tasted horrible. He said he never tasted anything so gross. He said he's eaten Reese cups all of his life. Because his dad made them and everything. Um, and apparently they're not using real chocolate in this candy anymore. They're using these synthetic stuff. It's in Kit Kats. It's not real chocolate. Reese cups is not real
Really?
chocolate. Yeah, it's not. It's not real chocolate. None of it's real chocolate. And Reese and Reese and Snickers and everything else. The company owners they threw up the white flag and they admitted to it and they said they claim they're going to change their ways.
Hmm. Somebody is smoking some serious reefer around here.
That's what you've
Uh,
been saying that for the past couple of days now. I mean, you're in the same spot,
no,
ain't you?
no, just for the last couple hours.
Um, well, yesterday you said that,
No, I don't think I smelled any yesterday. I've just been smelling some today.
or maybe.
It's like I can smell somebody smoking a bowl. Like they're either smoking a joint, like they're coming out, taking a few puffs off a fucking joint and putting it out, or they're passing it around, or it's like every so often, it's like fuck, dude, that's a really fucking like somebody's trying to get their groove on.
You're in a residential spot, ain't you?
Heart, yeah, but yeah, but there might be kids here. There might be other campers here. There might be other shit going on. I don't know. So, and tomorrow is Friday night, so it's kind of getting to that point. Plus, you got was it Indiana University or something like that here. There's a Larry Bird Museum here.
Have you been in it?
No, but it's free admission.
You ought to go in.
I'm thinking about it.
Check it
I,
out.
I
Take your camera and get some video and you know bullshit with the owner and go through it.
yeah. So the weed smell's gone, and it'll come back in a little bit. Like I think somebody's just fucking relaxing outside. Oh well, but um, I'm sitting at a low battery, man. So
I am too,
let's give it about
honestly.
like 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna tap out for the night.
That's fine, man. We've been up for 3 hours. I'm starting to wire down myself.
Yeah, this type of stuff takes a. I will tell you, it takes a lot from you when you do this. So you have to really spend some time on recovery. Um, a lot of what I don't know. This is what I've learned with all the lives that I do. But I'm more introverted. But I'm a good communicator. But I'm introverted.
Right.
So I'm kind of like a walking contradiction. So I can give like a good hour, 2 hours of like really, really high energy stuff, especially if like we're bouncing off and we got good topics going and stuff like that. Even on my channel, like I only have like so much energy to go. But the thing is if you do it every day, you have to have a good recovery time because of the amount of energy it takes just from the brain power and then just being able to speak freely and kind of follow the flow of the conversation. So, I mean, I've been working on that for a while now, but I don't know if you ever do something like that, but that's something that I've been working on is making sure that I always have time to rest myself so that I'm not burnt out by the time I fucking go live.
Well, I mean,
Because like
after we get done here, I will. I mean, basically, this is what I do each time. After I get done with the live, um, I make sure everything's working, everything's uploaded. I'll go smoke a cigarette. Then I'll go and check on the kid and the old lady. Get me something to drink. Use the bathroom. Then I'll probably come back in and start prepping for tomorrow. Um,
yeah,
or go write something or work on something or
like
whatever.
are you that driven or is it
Oh
just
yeah, yeah. I can't. I mean, I have kind of like sat and waited and took so much time in the
you're
past.
just ready to get it going?
I am just ready to get it going. I mean, you really have no idea how many times I tried to get this, you know, back on its feet again, and something happened, and everything else, and this is good. This has been going good. I mean,
How
um,
many people we got in chat right now?
oh, I have no
What
idea.
was our high for the day so far?
Like I said, people. What I'm seeing is people are, seeing, coming back and
We got
watching
two
them, and
people in.
yeah, people are coming back and watching them, and when they can. Like a friend of mine, she had some other stuff she needed to go take care of, but she said she'd be back to watch the rest of it. And hey, there's other ones that
Yeah.
get caught up, and I mean, there's a third one now. um,
That was me. I was looking.
and let's see. I mean, like my channel today got overall. I mean, I think I hit the wrong button. I did. There's my studio. Okay. Like today, the whole of the channel, I had 7,000 views, and I had um, 1,900. I mean, no, 197,050 watch hours today.
Wow.
Yeah.
For how much content do you have?
Huh?
How much content do you have?
Uh, I have shit. Uh, I a lot. I mean, I got 646, 45 pages of uh videos.
Oh wow.
Yeah, each page has 30 roles on it, so each page has 30 videos. So I
So you
have
got like about 3 or 4 thousand videos.
let's see, I'll do the math real quick just out of curiosity.
You get a lot of royalties off of that. You could just sit back and not do anything and get paid for the rest of your life on YouTube with as much content as you have.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel the same. It really doesn't.
It doesn't what?
It doesn't feel the same. I got like 19. According to this, I got 19,000 videos.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been at it a while. I have. I've been, I've been.
Well, yeah, I've heard of people like, because you see, all you get to see, like, all they showcase from all the people that do YouTube. It's like people that like have 30 or 40 videos and have a couple 100,000 followers. It's like, what the fuck? How did these people do it? And so, but I guess a lot of people have thousands upon thousands of videos before they actually ever make it.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta keep uh, pumping away, and eventually it will, say it will happen. They got a new thing on there where you can do like brainstorming ideas from your videos.
Oh yeah.
I'm still looking for the podcast thing. I found the podcast thing in the um. I can talk. I found it on my channel content, but I can't find it where I need to change it. That's visibility, no. File, live stream, titles, subtitles, in screen quizzes, playlist. Okay, wait a minute. Is that it? No, maybe. Is there a different podcast? Yeah, I don't think that's the right one. I don't know. I think that's the one I made. Anyway, I don't know. I don't. But anyway, I'll figure that out.
So what are we looking at as far as topics for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, well, I wanted to save the like blood sacrifice and stuff like that for the weekend. Um, I'm thinking, is there any place you want to go with it? I mean, is there?
Well, with this, we've kind of touched on all kinds of different things. I would like to cover, some of what's going on as far as the world at war and famine, and just like, I think that people don't really see, they don't really see the fact that the burner got put on high. And it's just like, we have so much pressure on us that we're not seeing it from the outside, so that we understand why we're kind of, because I mean, people are starting to snap just because of, prices going up. One of my subscribers just told me his rent just went up by $100. I've had some subscribers say their rent goes up by 400 or 500 bucks when they renew it. It's crazy. And then, these people are getting on fixed income. We've got an aging society, who's only going to get Social Security. So how do these people actually survive? You know, so um,
We can explore some of that. I mean, I don't want us to um you know bore them with math and figures of society.
well, no, but it's just practical understanding of, like, we talked about the supply chain yesterday. I said Trump destroyed the supply chain. You said all the oil from the Strait of Hormuz is coming here, so maybe that's going to fill the void. Maybe, but if it doesn't, it's going to directly affect the housing market, because the people that deal in supply, logistics, warehousing, and stuff like that are generally the people that can afford a house. And if the housing market goes down, then that means that services that support the housing market go down. I mean, it's just a simple cause and effect.
Okay. Well, we can touch base on that stuff. We'll talk about the uh the housing market. We'll talk about BlackRock and the the stuff behind and the drivers behind the housing market, where people used to be able to buy houses and they can't now. And
Yeah.
we'll cover in those, people were doing the the uh, the dating scene and PowerPoint, and where they found some new uh, well, I guess you won't call them dinosaurs. They're saying it's rewriting the fossil record. So what we thought we knew, we don't. And we should probably figure out why people are starting to smuggle ants.
Wait, people are starting to what?
Smuggle ants.
Smuggle ants?
Ants. Those little fucking picnic robbers.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But why would anybody be smuggling ants?
I guess we'll get to that tomorrow.
Okay, well that sounds like we got a full plate on us.
Well, part of that.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that sounds pretty good. Oh, I've being static, my brain doesn't really like honestly no, since I've been on this since I left where I was just because of I don't know, my brain hasn't fully re reacclimated back to because I mean in the same way you're restarting your channel, I'm like 6 weeks ahead of where you're at in a lot of ways. I've done a lot of weird changes and stuff like that. I had a good morning crowd, then I changed it to evening, so I didn't stay consistent, and I kind of destroyed that because I was getting up to like 40, 50, 80 viewers, but that was in the morning. But I can't do live streams in the morning
Oh, I
anymore.
know.
It's
I mean,
it's a pain in the
I was
ass.
thinking about doing like a just chatting news type thing in the mornings, but I don't know yet. I may do something like that when I'm working on like the prep for the night show, and I
Yeah.
mean the whole idea was to put about 8 hours a day into this. Just do it as much as possible, constantly. Just keep banging it and banging it and banging it. I mean that's the way I've been seeing it. Also, other topics for tomorrow. It seems like it's come back up on my radar because I was talking to you about it. That Baltic Sea anomaly. The thing it was like a spaceship they found under the thing.
Uh,
Apparently, some new stuff has come up about it too. Actually today, and then some new stuff about the Bermuda Triangle.
ooh, the Bermuda Triangle. I'm always
Yeah,
interested
yeah.
in
So
that.
I want to hit that, and then there's all kinds of new crazy things. Yeah, yeah, that's right. So
It sounds like it's gonna be a full show. Everybody's gonna be. I mean, we should get excited. Um, so have any of the videos, the live streams we've done, have they processed yet? Or are they all hung up?
no, they processed the um
Because I
this
thought you said one hadn't.
yeah one hasn't everything's it looks like everything is processed except for this one. Yeah, yeah, everything's
Okay.
processed now. This one, yesterday's will go on to Spotify in the morning, so it'll be good.
Um, I don't know. Like I'm sure you're well versed, but in what you're doing. But just a suggestion, if you hadn't thought of it, is if when you go through like you scrub through this, you could also turn it not only into longer form like long form content, in the sense of like clip it out into separate videos based upon certain segments, and then also you could do like live highlights that will point people back to the live stream so that they get primed of like, okay, there's a live stream, it starts at da 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 da, so that people kind of know what to do. But that's part of marketing. I've tried it, I've had results. I'm just I don't have the capacity with the where I'm at in my lifestyle. Like if I had a if I could sit down at a desk and just like focus, those would be things that I definitely probably would be doing myself.
Oh yeah. I mean, that is. Uh, I have planned to do it. I'm working on it. Where I can use the. Um, I'm going to start clipping like parts of it and making shorts and things like that. Um, that is uh, a plan. I might actually have help or somebody do that.
Something I was doing is I created a prompt with AI, and I just had it in like my notes so I could just copy paste it in the morning and tell it like what because it would say like give me the top news stories for these categories for this subject, within the last 24 hours, and vet the upload date or whatever, and then that would be how I kind of got some of the stuff that I would talk about, because I'd be like, that one's interesting. Oh, that one's interesting. That one sucks. And so I'd pick and choose, and then I could just go in and read the source articles in which it provides, and if it sends me down a deeper rabbit hole, then I get to follow it and stuff like that. Because I mean, you're always following backlinks. At least I do. So. But yeah, I did that for a while when I was doing news when I still had my trailer. That was how I got my articles for the day.
Okay.
Um, oh, because that way, I mean, AI can search and stuff. I hope I'm not stepping out of my lane.
No, you're fine. I mean, I go through, compile this stuff, look at new stuff, and then of course I got
Well,
a bunch of things
uh,
that like roll in. It's just um, I mean, like right
uh,
now I'm looking at a couple of things. Uh apparently well this is there's an Arctic signal that keeps repeating from a non-existent Soviet underground city. Um,
ooh,
yeah. Also, something called frequency farming. The low hum driving urban populations toward collective psychological breaks. You know, kind of like what we were talking about. And if you go around the United States, you can find these hum areas. There's also evidence that the Vatican basement specimen has been analyzed for extraterrestrial evidence and is currently being liquidated. Um, uh, there's a missing energy field. They're calling it a spartal rift, and there is the CERN transgender father paradox, where they're claiming that physics experiments are altering the biological history of people.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I got a whole thing of stuff that we might touch on tomorrow. Uh,
Send me some of those articles so I can keep up with you on some of that.
all right, all right, all right.
I mean, I've got some time to read, not a lot, but some time to read.
I mean, some of this stuff is there, and you gotta. I mean, like a lot of people will take articles and then they'll take and grab it, but some of the stuff I have to go in and I have to compare multiple sources and put all this stuff together. Some of these like really
Yeah,
hard topics. Um,
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
like I read those off to you. Those are ones that I would actually use in stories and books and stuff. But I mean, I don't mind talking about them on podcasts.
yeah.
Um,
Well, you're more, you have the more of the journalistic tendency. I'm still green behind the ears. I've got a lot to learn. That's part of the reason why I kind of like listen to some of the stuff you do. It's like one day I'll figure out how you do it and I'll be able to apply my own system. But like, yeah, I just the amount of depth that you put into some of the stuff just from what you've told me, it's I kind of look at it. I go, okay, I need to figure out how to do that.
you just got
So,
to find
but
out what
that
works.
requires.
You just got to find out
Hmm?
what works best for you, dude.
Well, I used to do it back in the day, but to write like maybe a 2,000 or 3,000 word article, it would take me 8 to 12 hours to research the article and write it, and it would take me about an hour and a half to write the article. When I was doing blogging back in the day, but that was so intense. And it's really, I figured with technology it should be able to have the information at your fingertips, because like you're just kind of like throwing out search terms hoping that you can actually find something that's going to put you in the direction to kind of like move you along in what you're doing.
Yeah, but I feel people are becoming that's the whole dependent on technology bit that I was the rant I was going off on. I feel that you know you're researching a story, you're writing a story, and then you suddenly say, okay, well, you know, I can go to Claude or something and ask them, okay, here, you know, cook me up a paper about this, or go research this for me, and and then you have everything you need for your story, and you're like, okay, yeah, I can use this. So now you are relied. I mean, not relied. You have relied on this system to create this story, and while it may not be written by AI or excerpts by AI, it has still guided you and showed you the way toward the AI light. And
Well,
you
isn't
know,
that what
and,
you
there,
were
and
hiring?
that's not. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there is. And there's everyone on this planet is doing this now. I mean, I don't care. I don't care. If they say they're not, they're lying. I mean, and if they really really think they're not, then they're just wrong.
Naive.
Yeah, naive. But I mean, because AI is on everything. I mean, damn, there's AI in my refrigerator in there now. So I mean, AI is everywhere. Um, but yeah, you know, um, and I'm not knocking it. If you can pull it off,
Come
put
here.
it together, and everything else, go for it. Um,
I think it's a tool like everything else, but like even the articles that it gives me to use as reference, and stuff like that. You read them, and you follow the rabbit hole. But I think that uh, yeah, the way that we grew up having to research and find things was it took so long to get to just like some simple answers. And it's the way that information is moving now is you've got to be able to process as much possible information as possible and be able to make something coherent come out of it. And so you're forced to rely on technology so that to be able to keep up with the pace of the rest of the world.
yeah, I mean, you have to. You do it. You use it, and I mean, I think we're at the point in history where we will have to either accept it or go through it. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Well, I struggle most days to kind of figure out my own ethical boundaries of like, where is it okay to use AI? At what point am I starting to give up my agency? Things like that. That I don't know. I think they're important, because I think that that's really what we're giving up when we submit to AI. But at what point can you use it as a tool and still keep your agency?
I don't know. I feel like we have um we're I mean honestly I do feel like we're giving too much away. I mean and but I don't feel like I feel like we're powerless to stop doing so. So
Why would you say we're powerless?
because we have become dependent and we have become I mean and we're going to become more and more dependent on it. I mean you can toddle around the internet. You can go around different locales and stuff like that. You can see people is like, oh, okay, I'm not going to touch it, or they're living off the land, or they're doing other stuff. Well, it's still there. It's still going to be there. You're still going to encounter it. You're going to encounter it at some point in your life. It's going to know about you. You're going to use it. You're going to either be hurt or benefit from it. You know, it's here. I mean, my mom, when she was alive, she used to like call technology the devil. I mean, I'd have a computer running in the bedroom, and like I'd have to go to work or go out with the boys or whatever, and she would come in and unplug it. I mean, it was crazy. Um, and I don't want to become that kind of person. I don't want to become that kind of person that has that fully becomes anti-technology. Um, but I could, we all could. And I think there's a growing number of boomers or whatever you want to call us that are thinking like our elders.
Um, yeah, because oh, the older you get, the less adaptable you are because you're just trying to coast into the last years of your life and just have a few minutes of peace. And you don't want anything to disrupt that peace. Do not change anything because if you do, that means that I have to actually do something and I just don't want to. I've been doing it for so many years.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
I'm starting to feel it. I just hit 45 and all of a sudden my mind's thinking it's like, dude, I just want it to stay the same. I don't want to change anymore. I just want to coast.
I feel the same way. I do. I wish. I wish. Well, I mean, I wish that I could go back and I don't know, like 15 years, and I would be happy and stay that
Yeah,
way. But uh, I don't know.
but
Well,
it's
well,
not going.
anyway, let's call it a wrap. You said your battery's about to die, and I definitely need
Yeah.
I need to plug mine in. But same time tomorrow. I'll reach out to you sometime tomorrow.
You want okay, well you said on like Friday, Saturday nights you want to do it a little bit later.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wanted to. Yeah, I mean, that was
Well,
yeah,
you were saying you wanted to do it at 8 instead of at 7.
yeah. Eight on the weekends, and then at 7 throughout the week, unless there's some kind of change or something special, or we come up with something else.
Okay. I'm gonna be doing my little entertainment stuff leading up to it. So we might have something depends upon what kind of crowd I get going around me. We might have an interactive crowd on the ground too.
What do you mean by interactive?
Well, I'm gonna be, share, or, ask me a question and I'll tell you a story. It's meant to be like being a storyteller and entertainer. Well, at a certain point, people will come up and I'll let them know that hey, that this is actually a live podcast. If you'd like to sit back and listen,
Oh, you mean
and
you're
I,
you're you're talking about there around you?
yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's fine. You put it on speaker. We'll roll with it.
Yeah, well, it would be interesting, and who knows, people might find it fascinating.
I mean, if you can get enough people there, I'm finding it fascinating.
One thing I've noticed is that the towns are the center cities they're not as busy. It's like since the cough, everybody's kind of like stays home. There's not really a lot of foot traffic in the downtown areas like there used to be. It's like maybe 20% of what it used to be.
You ought to try this idea at a coffee shop or something.
You know what? That might not that might be I that might be something to try. All right, man. I will thank you for having me and I will see you tomorrow.
Always do. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, bye.
Bye. For those of you who are still around, and for those of you who will watch this video to its entirety, or this podcast to its entirety. Once again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And while I know there's still bugs and there's things that we are still working on and things that I'm still working on, I want you to know that we're doing our best to try to fix them. I want this to become something unique and special, and it's going to take some practice and some doing. But like always, stay paranoid, my friends. And once again, thank you all.